night edition of Westwood One Sports Night. Heck of a lot to get into. Appreciate you all being here with us, baby. Another day in the world of sports, man. It is, it's always fun. It's always fun burning the midnight oil with you guys. Getting to do this show the way that we do each and every night. You know how to get at me. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. That's if you want to hit me up on the phones. You can get at me on social media as well. It is at NELL_BTP. Same handle on each and every social media platform. We appreciate you locking into the show, however you're doing so here tonight. Sirius XM, channel 375, WestwoodOneSports.com, and the always free Westwood One Sports app. You can check us out, streaming live and nationwide, baby, on YouTube and X. You know the X handle because I just told you my handle on every social media platform, so I won't bore you with repeating that again. I know there's some people out there that love to hear me give my handle. I will not scratch that itch for you anymore here tonight. You can check out the live stream on YouTube as well. I think it's only appropriate. Maybe I care about this too much. Maybe I am a loser. That's too strong of a word. A nerd. Both of those things can be true. That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm about to say, though. You all, and I hesitate on giving you all too much credit because I know how you all can get. I know how I can get. You give me too much damn credit, I turn into an egotistical monster that you don't want to be in the same room as. I don't want you all to turn into that, but I do want to give you credit. We are at 484 subscribers. I believe our guy Josh Graham put out a tweet 2 days ago saying, can we get to 500 by the end of March? And I came on here last night and I told you all, we love Josh. The hell with what Josh had to say about getting to 500. I need 600. And you know what I'm really looking for? You know what I'm really scratching and itching for? Hitting 1,000 subscribers, baby. When we hit 1,000 subscribers on this show, I promise you, you think we have a good time on a night in, night out basis. You see how good of a time we have with 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube nightly. Just search Westwood One Sports Night. Long-form content of the show, including entire segments. You can check out some YouTube shorts. And then at the end of this bad boy, all 4 hours in its entirety. So make sure you subscribe to Westwood One Sports Night. We got a lot to get into, man. It feels like the NFL dominates the conversation, and I got my ear to the streets, is how I would put it. I know a lot of people this time of year try and put the NFL on the back burner. I promise you, you can't. I'm telling you, you can't put the NFL on the back burner. Here is why. The way that their offseason calendar is set up, your give-a-damn level is sky high for really the entirety of the 12 months of the calendar year, baby. I mean, there's always something going on in the National Football League. What happened today in the NFL was the franchise tag window in the National Football League. That closed, meaning at 4 p.m. Eastern time today, if you did not franchise tag a dude that was slated to be an unrestricted free agent, he now is just that, talking about an unrestricted free agent. So here is the interesting piece of this. As we have moved throughout the course of time, franchise tags are being given out less and less and less. There were 4 total tags given out today. One tag made me look like a genius, and you all should refer to me as such, because that's what I am. Kidding. We talked about Daniel Jones and the potential of a transition tag. We're going to talk about Daniel Jones and the Colts in full detail before we get out of this opening hour of the program. But I do want to pass along the note, if you've been living under a rock all damn day, Daniel Jones did get the transition tag from the Indianapolis Colts, meaning it's a $36 million cap hit for Indy. And then what happens now is other teams across the National Football League have the opportunity to negotiate with Daniel Jones, and the Colts can match any offer sheet that Daniel Jones ultimately signs. As I mentioned yesterday, and I'll run it back later on in this hour, why would anybody be chasing after a quarterback coming off of an Achilles tear who has never been healthy throughout the course of his professional career. That's here nor there. I'm just here to give you the information. The rest of the franchise taggees throughout the course of this afternoon. As expected, George Pickens receiving the franchise tag from Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to try their damnedest to work towards a long-term deal. Here is what I will say about George Pickens. Him being traded still, in my opinion, is not off of the table yet, right? Like, this was a formality. We knew ultimately that this was going to happen. I don't think the idea of a trade is off of the table despite him getting the tag. I think it's very much a possibility. The other taggees that we saw, Kyle Pitts, he was the first guy to get tagged, several days ago, tight end for the Falcons. And then Jets running back Breece Hall also receiving the franchise tag. I don't know if I love that one for the Jets. Kind of is what it is. The running back market is in flux, as we all know. So those were the big moves that happened today in terms of getting franchise tag. I think the bigger news is probably who did not get franchise tag. Edge rusher Trey Hendrickson for the Cincinnati Bengals. He ultimately did not receive the franchise tag from Cincinnati, a move that we all forecasted and projected, because why would the Bengals tag him after playing the game of chicken that they've been playing with him over the past several seasons? Real quick on Trey Hendrickson. This is a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the Cincinnati Bengals are one of the worst run organizations in all of professional sports. My name's Linnell Willicam. Seriously, that is how I feel about Cincinnati. We don't got to go into too much detail about it as I recap the day for you all. He didn't get the franchise tag. Kenneth Walker from Seattle also not receiving the franchise tag. We'll talk about him coming up here momentarily, but that is where things currently sit. There was also confirmation of a big-time move that we have been forecasting on this show over the past several weeks. That is the status of former number 1 overall pick Kyler Murray, quarterback formerly of the Arizona Cardinals. Why do I say formerly? Dun, 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 dun. It happened, people. It happened. Kyler Murray, earlier this afternoon, out of there when it comes to being the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. And it's a move we all expected. It is a move that I feel like is best for both parties involved, but it's also a move that in reality did not have to happen. Can we be frank about it? The Cardinals have misplayed their hand with Kyler Murray the entire time since acquiring him. And Kyler hasn't made this easy on himself because I don't think anyone is going to accuse him of emptying the tank, per se, in terms of trying to be the best version of himself possible. And it kind of just is what it is. Kyler Murray now looks to revive his career the way that some other number 1 overall picks have here in recent memory. Real quick, Kyler Murray, as a member of the Arizona Cardinals, through, 6 seasons as a starter for Kyler Murray, 20,000 yards passing, 67% completion percentage, 121 passing touchdowns to 60 interceptions. He also had 32 rushing touchdowns. He scored damn near almost 200 touchdowns in total with the Arizona Cardinals. Why do I bring that up? I don't work for Kyler. He's not paying me under the table. We do not run Call of Duty together. I do not have a dog in the fight when it comes to him. I say all of that because it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it feels like there is this level of disappointment with Kyler Murray in terms of how his tenure in Arizona finished. And obviously, when you're the number 1 pick, expectations are sky high. You're expected to accomplish some pretty significant feats during your time. That didn't happen for Kyler. Bottom line. What we do know about Kyler moving forward is this. He's 28 years of age, guys. and has, in my opinion, a whole lot of gas left in the tank. Kyler Murray's next destination, I think, is probably the biggest storyline at the quarterback position in this NFL offseason. Where Kyler Murray plays next is the biggest storyline at quarterback throughout the entire NFL offseason. Here's the caveat about all of this. Remember, guys, there was the assumption initially, and I don't know why people assumed this, there was this assumption that Arizona, with a hope and a prayer, emphasis on hope and a prayer, we're going to be able to trade Kyler Murray. That ultimately didn't happen. And because of that, Kyler released outright. That is what's best for Kyler Murray, if we're being honest. What this now does, because he is going to sign a veteran minimum deal, what this now does is allows Kyler, because he's going to get paid that $38 million from Arizona that he was guaranteed, because of that, Kyler now in a prime position to sign for the veteran minimum at the quarterback position. Why is that important? Because when you talk about potential Kyler Murray destinations, there are two that comes to mind right off the bat. Number one, the Minnesota Vikings. And here's the thing. When it comes to the Vikings, and when I say it comes to mind, doesn't Minnesota just make sense as a team that needs a quarterback to come in and compete with JJ? You would think that Kyler to Minnesota makes sense. Kyler to Indianapolis also, I think, makes a ton of sense. Kyler to Atlanta with the Falcons, I think, ultimately makes a whole lot of sense. Kyler to the Colts also makes a whole lot of sense. Here's the thing. Wherever Kyler signs, it's going to be for the best football fit. That's what's most important to him right now. He has to follow the Sam Darnold plan. He has to follow the Geno Smith plan. He has to follow the Baker Mayfield plan in terms of reviving his career, in terms of revitalizing his stock and make people believe in him again. I think throughout league circles, there is this wide-ranging belief of what Kyler Murray is. I think some people, he's clearly viewed, let's take a step back here. He's clearly the best available option right now, right? Can we all agree to disagree or agree on that one? He is the best available option right now in this 2026 free agent crop. He is a former number one overall pick that's had success as a starter, and he's available for the vet damn minimum. So let's just start there, right? The next piece of this that I'm fascinated to see is how long it takes Kyler to sign. According to several different sources, he has two teams that are his preferred destinations. What do you think those two teams are? Who do you think those two teams are? You can get at me in the YouTube chat if you're watching us on YouTube with the answer to that question. You can also hit me up on social media. It is at NELL_BTP. Where are the best two potential destinations for Kyler Murray? That's something that I want to chew on here throughout the course of the night. And then I also, y'all know how I get down, man. I am the author of authenticity. I'm going to tell it how a T.I. is. I'm going to keep it real. Kyler Murray, and I'm quickly efforting to find it here, Denton, because it's about that time, pal. Kyler Murray and the chat GPT-ass goodbye that he gave to the Arizona Cardinals literally made me want to vomit. Yuck. Yucky. Yucky, 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 yucky. Maybe you should spend more time being genuine about your emotions, Kyler, instead of waiting in the lobby on Warzone, pal. Let's read this tweet from our guy Kyler Murray. To everyone that supported me and showed kindness to my family and I during my time in Arizona, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I wanted nothing more than to be the one to end the 77-year drought for this organization. I am sorry I failed this. I wish this community and my brothers nothing but the best. I am no stranger to adversity. I am prepared for whatever's next. I trust in God and my work ethic. I truly believe my best ball is in front of me, and I look forward to proving it. Godspeed, Kyler Murray, karate emoji is what I'm calling that. This is the most chat GPT-esque response goodbye letter that I've ever seen, y'all. Can I tell you the first thing that jumps out to me? No emojis. If you're using a tweet and using Twitter, can you show some emojis here? And then here's the thing that really jumped out to me. What ChatGPT does, the bad part about it, and I don't want to say it's bad, is just when you don't tell it exactly what to do, it don't do what you want it to do. This is the line that jumped out to me. I wanted nothing more than to be the one to end this 77-year drought for this organization. Huh? What are you talking about, Kyler? What 77-year drought? Have the Cardinals even been around for 77 years as an organization? Do we know that? I don't think that's even a thing. Is it? Okay. Denton said, yeah, they have been. But, dude, do you pick up what I'm putting down? It's so generic. What drought are you talking about, Kyler? You didn't prompt ChatGPT to say Super Bowl. I can tell you what Kyler Murray typed in, and I want to try it here in real time. Denton, if you have ChatGPT, first of all, we got to pot Denton up here and tell our good brother good evening as we're here on a Tuesday night edition of Westwood One Sports Night, taking you coast to coast. I am baffled by this. I want you to type this. I want you to type this in the ChatGPT, Denton, because I am almost certain this is something that he typed. He basically typed in the ChatGPT and said this, quote, "Hey, chat, give me goodbye post that shows I'm sad things didn't work out, thankful for opportunity, but hungry for what's next."
I think that 77-year drought really highlights that one.
Yeah.
Like, say Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You can't, in the media space, you can't really use the term Super Bowl when you're promoting something on Super Bowl week. But if you're Kyler Murray, you can say the term Super Bowl or championship for that matter.
Yeah. And here's the contrast to Kyler Murray and his goodbye. This is a dude that was the number 1 overall pick by Arizona. They changed his life. He decided to forego his baseball career to come to Arizona and play quarterback for the Cardinals. He gave them less than 180 characters. Trey Hendrickson, who got royally screwed by Cincinnati, gave them an entire page-long post. There are levels when it comes to showing your appreciation for a team that doesn't want you anymore. 310-840-4910 is the number. I want you to hit me up on the YouTube chat and on X with this if you have anything to chime in with. Kyler Murray officially released, by the Arizona Cardinals. There are 2 destinations that Kyler and his camp are looking at. Tell me what you think those destinations are. And I mentioned several different dudes this afternoon did not receive the franchise tag, including Super Bowl 56 MVP Kenneth Walker. Where is his future in the National Football League? That's next here on Westwood One Sports Night.
The Cowboys place the franchise tag on George Pickens. What comes next? Do they sign him long-term? Or trade the stud wideout to another team? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Let's get it rocking, baby. We are just getting rolling here on a Tuesday night edition of Westwood One Sports Night with the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham, taking you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Number to call us, 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. You can tweet at me as well, same handle on each and every social media platform. It is at NELL_BTP. Heck of a lot more to get into as we go coast to coast here on this Tuesday night, as we're about to ease our way into Wednesday morning on the East Coast. We'll talk some basketball throughout the course of the show as well. Interesting night in the association as well as in college basketball. Remember, one of my big takeaways from this past weekend in college basketball is I think the Kansas Jayhawks a better team without Darren Peterson than with Darren Peterson. That continues to be true. Minute 24 left to go in regulation. Kansas on the road taking on Big 12 rival Arizona State. They're down 9 with a $1:24 left to go in regulation. Darren Peterson on the evening, 2 of 15 from the field, 2 of 10 from beyond the arc, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And it's got 4 steals, though. So there's that. But, yeah, Darren Peterson continuing to be on the struggle bus. Appreciate you all locking in however you're doing so, man. Sirius XM channel 375, WestwoodOneSports.com. You can check us out on the YouTube chat as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to Westwood One Sports Night. What we're getting to right now is the news that broke earlier today. Kyler Murray cut by the Arizona Cardinals. What 2 teams do you think are his preferred destination? That's the rumor in the report right now, is he's got 2 preferred destinations. Who do you think those 2 teams are? And then if you're just now joining us, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally nitpicking here. Maybe I'm being totally unfair. But Kyler Murray in his goodbye tweet to the Arizona Cardinals, to me, comes off as one of the most disingenuous goodbyes that I've ever seen. It feels like he typed in a prompt in the chat GPT and they spit out this answer. To everyone that has supported me and showed kindness to my family and I during my time in Arizona, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I wanted nothing more than to be the one to end this 77-year drought for the organization, a drought that I know nothing about. I am sorry I failed us. I wish this community and my brothers nothing but the best. I am no stranger to adversity. I'm prepared for whatever's next. I trust in God and my work ethic. I truly believe my best ball is in front of me, and I look forward to proving it. Godspeed, Kyler Murray Jiu-Jitsu emoji. By the way, if you all don't know what the Kyler Murray Jiu-Jitsu emoji is, literally just search it in your emoji search bar if you have an Apple iPhone, and it'll probably pop up. Here's why, or here's the issue that I have, is I think that he basically doesn't like anybody in Arizona. I think he's very disgruntled about what happened, and I think his response and lack of give a damn level with this response proved that. It feels like he typed this in the chat GPT. Give me a goodbye post that shows I'm sad that things didn't work out, thankful for the opportunity, but hungry for what's next. So I got On Air Thomas on the YouTube stream. You all can get at us on YouTube as well. Just search Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment. You know the whole bit. He types at us and says, Linnell, put that into chat GPT, and this is what chat responded with. To the Arizona Cardinals organization and the fans, that this isn't an easy message to write. When I was drafted by, so obviously he couldn't fit the entire thing in the comment. I'm going to try it too, because I am hell-bent that I'm exactly correct on what I said. Notice that in this he didn't say the Cardinals once. He didn't thank the ownership group. He didn't thank anybody individually. And Kyler doesn't strike me as a very thoughtful guy. I'm telling you, this is what I think about Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray, and I was once this kid. Like, Kyler Murray is the kid. I was always told growing up, man, when you don't put in work outside of practice, you don't get better. You stay the same as all your teammates. We all got to go to practice every damn day. So how do you separate yourself? Kyler looks like the dude that does the bare minimum. I've played with a Kyler Murray before. I'm telling you, I know this song and dance. Kyler's the type of guy that goes to practice. After practice, he hops in the car with mom. They go to McDonald's. They get their snack wraps. He goes home and he plays video games all night. Probably doesn't open up his tablet once. He's not that type of dude. And I'm not surprised that this is the type of response that he gave the organization, the type of thank you that he gave the organization. The only reason it sticks out to me is because Trey Hendrickson, edge rusher, disgruntled edge rusher for the Bengals, got totally screwed over by the organization the past couple of years, but still was thoughtful enough to give them basically an entire page on how he felt about them as an organization. With all that being said about Kyler's personality, I think without a shadow of a doubt, he is the best available quarterback option right now on the market. And if you're a quarterback-needy team out there, and we listed the 9 quarterback-needy teams in the NFL yesterday, if you're one of those 9, a part of the divine 9, so to speak, right? I think you got to be on the phone with the $100 million man baby, Kyler Murray.
I have a question for you.
I have answers for you.
Let's just say hypothetically, he didn't use ChatGPT. Is it better if he did, or is it worse because this is so bland of a thank you note? And he's had days, if not weeks, to think of something. Like, that's the thing that's crazy, too. Like, he's known this is coming. He knows that the separation was coming. And this, is it better or worse if he did it himself?
That's a really good question, honestly. Like, I don't know, Denton. Because it's a bad look all the way around. Like, in reality, and I get it, right? Kyler come from money. Kyler is somebody that was a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, he was going to have success and make big-time money playing sports regardless because he was a hell of a baseball prospect. And for those of you that do not know about Kyler Murray, the baseball prospect, Kyler Murray was drafted number 9 overall in 2018 by the Oakland Athletics. So he is – we're not just capping and hyperbolizing it when we say he's a Major League Baseball project. Our guy, the Dog 23, types in the YouTube chat saying the St. Louis Cardinals are the oldest oh, God. Are you guys not going to let me live this down? Okay, I messed up. Don't I go by the youngest in charge, damn it? I can let me breathe a little bit, champ. I appreciate it, though. Look, we want to get y'all facts on the program, so I appreciate that energy. I got on here and said I had no clue that I thought the Cardinals were, like, new.
I mean, respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Respect the Dog, Denton.
Do championships in the 40s really count? Like, are we really counting that? Are you
That's
serious?
What I'm saying. I feel you. I was on the same page, brother.
Like, I know what happened. I'm a historian. You know, that's why I had to make sure that he knew. I'm a historian. But, like, championships in the 47s shouldn't really count.
It shouldn't. You're 100% right. He's talking about 1898? Brother, hold on. I was about to say something crazy. Anything that any sports events, any event in sports that don't make if this needs to be dumped, then we'll dump it. But I mean this, and I'm saying it from the bottom of my heart. Any sporting event or any event that happens in sports prior to the slaves being freed and prior to black people having equal rights doesn't count to me. Sorry. It just kind of is what it is to you, boy. 310-840.
Did telephones exist in 1898?
Electricity. Can we, look at some of the baseline issues that we got here, man? 310-840-4910 is the number. Let's go to Thomas in Wisconsin, wanting to lock in. Thomas, what's going on, brother? Welcome into Western One Sports Night.
How in the heck are we, brother?
What's up, pal? What it do, baby?
It's good to be calling you back-to-back nights. Yeah, I want to hit you with a little. There's a good friend that likes to call. Obviously, I think I mentioned him the other night too. Greg from Michigan, Mr. Positive.
Yes.
I got it. Has he called in ever to your show, or is it mainly?
He calls in, brother. He calls in nightly. Look, you're new to the party. We've been here, brother. We've been here, Slim. You're just.
We have been. We have, yes. But I want to say I
you
love your
in,
show. I'm ready. I'm dialed right with the Kyler Murray stuff. I want to say thank you so much for your great insight. You, along with so many others, including we'll go as far as to say David Shepard at Sirius XM NBA Radio for the post games, are people that I definitely look up to. Considering I want to go into the sports talk radio,
and that's actually awesome, bro. I definitely word to Mr. Positive, chase your dreams.
Yes, sir. Go for your dreams, baby. I'll hit him with one, and I will also hit you with a shakalaka. There you go. So I want to make sure I get my Kyler Murray thing.
Yeah, real quick, because we're up against it. We got to be quick here. That's not me being mean. That's me coaching you how to be better in sports media.
Yes, yeah, no, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it, brother, man. Yeah. So as far as best spots, I believe all best spots, I think that Kyler Murray lands. I'm gonna throw a curveball in here a little bit. How about the New York Giants, or maybe even as far as the New Orleans, Louisiana Saints? I'm going to hit you with those two.
The Giants and the Saints? Brother, I'll tell you this. If you want to go far in sports media, keep giving brash, bold takes like that. It'll take you somewhere. I appreciate the call, brother. 310-840-4910. I did want to get to Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl MVP for the Seattle Seahawks. He was not ultimately franchised and neither was Rashid Shaheed. So Seattle playing with fire a little bit is the best way that I would put it, letting two really important cogs hit the free agent market. When it comes to Kenneth Walker, man, first of all, is there a better opportunity, a better time for you to be hitting free agency fresh off of the year that he had and then being the Super Bowl MVP? He is going to be a shot in the arm for an offense. And I think his price tag goes up even higher because this is not a good running back class in the NFL draft. It's not. It's paper thin. The two running backs from Notre Dame are the best guys. The kid that had the best 40-yard dash, I think, is probably coming in at running back 3. And outside of that, there just aren't a lot of household names at running back. This is going to be, in terms of the quarterbacks in this, the quarterbacks that are drafted and the running backs, and maybe the lowest combined quarterback running back draft in a while, because there just aren't a lot of premier prospects at that position. Albert Breer of the MMQB listed a couple of destinations potentially for Kenneth Walker: Denver, Kansas City, a potential long-term deal in Seattle. The Kenneth Walker thing is interesting because imagine, right? Everyone's so worried about Jeremiah Love going to Kansas City. Here is what we should worry about more as NFL fans: them signing Kenneth Walker and then being able to use the number 9 pick on another position. So I know that they got the potential to add one supreme, ludicrous weapon for Patty Mahomes and company. But imagine with the number 9 pick, let's just say they bring in Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Like, they are in a really good position right now. The only issue, and it's a pretty big one, I totally get it. The only issue plaguing Kansas City right now, the only concern that any of us should have about Kansas City right now is the fact that Patrick Mahomes is hurt. That's really it. I expect them to sign Tyreek Hill. That idiot Rashee Rice. By the way, I know how I get down. If you're in the Youngest in Charge movie, you pick up what I'm putting down here. Denton and Oliver, I don't know if you all are familiar with this woman's game. Rashee Rice has got to get his act together. Talented as all get out. Had the couple of incidents off the field that's really coloring the way his NFL career looks to this point. He landed, this is where I knew he was tripping. Rashee Rice was lunching when he decided to post him and Ruby Rose all booed up on Valentine's Day. Probably the most ran-through celebrity right now in hip-hop. Rashee Rice has got her on his arm and on his hip, and he's touting her. Get on the turf, pal. Go run through a ladder or something. Ruby Rose will break your heart. And she's like an OnlyFans scam artist. So I don't have a lot of respect for her. I have respect for OnlyFans models, but, like, don't try to finesse your subscribers. And no, I am not a subscriber. 310-840-4910. Big news of the day. It was actually expected. Kyler Murray getting the opportunity to test free agency for the Arizona Cardinals. Sources say he has 2 preferred destinations. What do you think are the best 2 destinations for Kyler? We'll take your calls on that. Plus, Daniel Jones got the transition tag from Indianapolis. What does it mean for the signal caller and the Colts moving forward? All that and more comes your way next here on Westwood One Sports Night. This portion of the show brought to you by our pals at Progressive Commercial Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance protects small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com.
The Seahawks are letting Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker walk. The 25-year-old is coming off a 1,000-yard season and is now a free agent at the peak of his powers. Who gets him? We'll tell you every move as it happens. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Still kicking it to you as we get ready to ease our way in a Wednesday morning on the East Coast. Appreciate you locking in with us, however you're doing so. Here on Westwood One Sports Night with the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham. I'll get you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Number to hit me up, 310-840-4910. You can get at me on social media as well. It is at NELL_BTP. Same handle on each and every social media platform. Our guy Willis Streets tweets at us and says, Linnell, I believe Kyler should go somewhere like the Chiefs or the Rams. McVay and Reed are excellent with young QBs. He can learn in either place and would give his career a second chance. That's ultimately the dynamic and dilemma that Kyler Murray is going to have here. Because of Arizona paying him and owing him that $38 million, he essentially could take a gap year. He's not pressed for cash at this current juncture. He's not. The interesting thought about Kansas City and the LA Rams is that he obviously would not play right away, being behind Pat Mahomes, being behind Matthew Stafford. The Rams piece of this is interesting to me because we simply don't know, how much Matthew Stafford has left in the tank. Here's my thing that I keep going back to when it comes to Kyler and the Shanahan system. I'll broaden it to that. Minnesota's a team that continues to get brought up in terms of Kyler Murray as a potential destination. That Kevin O'Connell scheme, that Sean McVay, Shanahan system requires the quarterback to play on time and in rhythm. Kyler Murray has not shown the ability to do that throughout the course of his NFL career. So what makes you think that all of a sudden, wham, he's just going to turn into that guy? That's why I have major doubts and reservations about him going to Minnesota in particular as a starter. Like, I am totally against it. And I know he's being linked to the Vikings. First of all, the rumors that we're hearing surrounding the Vikings and their quarterback dilemma is laughable. I know that probably I wish I could show you all what I was doing. Because I just made the screen rattle in a crazy way, and it probably looked awful if you're watching. I'm fidgeting, and I need to stop. I'm just a big-ass kid. I can't help it. Him in Minnesota with the Vikings, I don't know if the casual football fan is thinking this way. But let's just say Kevin O'Connell isn't sitting on ice. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to warm up a little bit. Once the GM gets fired over a decision that you spearheaded, he gets a little warm, pal. That is the reality that KOC is facing in Minnesota. So going after Kyler Murray, in my opinion, a guy that isn't a foregone conclusion to adapt to your system in the way that you need him to, as quickly as you need him to. If I was Minnesota, I keep saying it, man. 2 quarterbacks that will come to mind for me. Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. 3 quarterbacks, rather. Oh, and obviously Malik Willis. That would be a guy for me, too. But they would have to do salary cap gymnastics, which they're already trying to do, as Jonathan Grenard was informed today he's either going to be traded or released by the squad. That'll free up some more salary cap space for them. But the bottom line is when it comes to Kyler Murray and his market, when it comes to the quarterback position, period, in the NFL, I said it a couple of weeks ago, that is going to be the overall talking point of this offseason. It's all about quarterback. Now, I mentioned it going to break. The Indianapolis Colts, and we talked about them a little bit yesterday and over the weekend, but I want to rehash it here right now. Indianapolis, to me, is in such a unique spot. And I don't mean oh my God, what's that you're wearing? It's so unique. No, oh my God, what's that on your face? You're unique. That's what I mean by the Colts are in a unique spot. For a roster that's as talented as theirs is, not having a concrete answer at quarterback, I think, is kind of crazy. They made the decision today to apply the transition tag to their guy, Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones is coming off of a year in which, when he was healthy, was playing without a shadow of a doubt, the best football, the best quarterback of his NFL career. Daniel Jones this year, if he is to play on this transition tag, would make $36 million. $36 million. That would be more than a pretty sizable chunk of the quarterbacks in the NFL. He would be a middle-of-the-pack starter. I don't know if he's deserving of that, but that's just is what it is. In 13 starts last year, Daniel Jones, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks, 3,100 yards, 70% completion percentage, damn near, was really, really strong for Indianapolis. But once again, Daniel Jones missed a significant chunk of time. Daniel Jones has been in the league since 2019. This past year was year number 7 for him as a starter. In his 7 years as a starter, Daniel Jones has failed to play 13 or more games 4 times. He is not a guy that is known for staying healthy. So if you're Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard and the powers that be in Indianapolis, clearly your seats are warm. Are you going to, in a make-or-break, do-or-die type of year, are you going to hitch your wagon to Daniel Jones? I think their decision this afternoon to give him the transition tag kind of told you what they thought about Daniel Jones. They want to let the rest of the National Football League determine his price. They want to let the rest of the National Football League dictate what his ultimate value is. And I think if you're Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, it's actually the smart, prudent move to make. I don't think Daniel Jones is worth it. If you were the Colts, knowing the roster that you have, Jonathan Taylor, Sauce Gardner on defense, one of the better offensive lines in football. Tyler Warren burst onto the scene last year and is going to be one of the best young tight ends in football. You need a real, legitimate option at the quarterback position. And I'm sorry, Mrs. Jones. Andre 3000 once said, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jones. I am for real. Your son is terrible. I wouldn't sign him. It's the bottom line. I would not be committing that type of money to Daniel Jones, not just because the play is not good enough, but the injury history is just as poor. 310-840-4910 is the number. A bunch of different things you can chime in on. Where do you want to see Kyler Murray play next? And should the Colts be moving forward with Daniel Jones? Your call's next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
What it is, family. Welcome back in. Westwood One Sports Night with the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham, taking you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Number to get at me, 310-840-4910. You can hit me up on all social media platforms at NELL_BTP. Make sure you're checking us out on the YouTube stream. Like, subscribe, and comment. Just search Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube to get long-form content of the show, including entire segments. And at the end of this bad boy, you get all 4 hours in its entirety. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube. A lot more to get to as we roll throughout the course of this program. It was an interesting night in the association. We'll talk about that as we roll throughout the show. Darren Peterson in Kansas went final. They ended up losing by 10 on the road to Arizona State. As I mentioned, DP in the game was not very good. And kind of confirming my thoughts that I issued to you guys last night. I do not think that they're a legitimate title contender with him on the floor. With him off of the floor, I don't think they are either. But I do believe that, they are better without him than they are with him. It was an interesting night in the NBA as well. There was one game I had circled going into the night, Pistons and Cavs, two teams that I'm super high on in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland, no Donovan Mitchell tonight as he continues to deal with the groin injury. Really, really impressive performance from the Cavs. They win by 4 in that one. James Harden and Jalen Tyson, really the guys to get it going. Jalen Tyson, 5 triples for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dennis Schroeder, 15 points off the bench. And the Cavs win 113-109. The most impressive piece of this, they held Cade Cunningham to 4 of 16 from the field. They forced him into 6 turnovers as well. So the Cleveland Cavaliers playing some good ball as we enter the stretch run of the NBA season. NFL is king, though, baby. Big news day in the National Football League as Kyler Murray officially granted a release from the Arizona Cardinals. According to sources, Kyler has 2 preferred destinations. What do you think those 2 destinations are? 310-840-4910. And then this was the big shocker to your boy. Daniel Jones, quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. I said that really weird. Quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis, Minneapolis. All the Napolises, just, they get me sometimes. Daniel Jones, though, oft injured, but had a career year last year. Colts had a massive decision to make going into the 4 p.m. Eastern time deadline on Tuesday. I didn't think it was much of a decision to make, if I'm being honest, right? I didn't think the decision was particularly difficult. If you are Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, and this is a do-or-die year for you, why would you go into it with a guy that you know has shown no ability to stay healthy? So Colts give him the transition tag, meaning the other 31 teams across the NFL are free to sign Daniel Jones to an offer sheet, but Indianapolis has the ability to match any deal that Daniel Jones gets. So essentially, they're letting the rest of the NFL dictate Daniel Jones's market, which is tough because of all the factors that surround his free agency. The way that he played, while also taking into consideration the injury history over the past several years. Want your calls on the potential Kyler Murray destinations, and there are just 2, according to his camp. And then if you're the Indianapolis Colts, what do you recommend them doing at quarterback? Would you move on from Daniel Jones and try to move on to greener pastures? Or would you take the time to match whatever offer sheet he is ultimately going to get out in the open market? 310-840-4910 is the number. There's another situation in the National Football League that I think isn't garnering enough attention as well. The Philadelphia Eagles, man, they're a team to me that's getting maybe written off a little bit prematurely for the 2026 season. I'll expound upon that coming up here momentarily. But first, let's get to our guy Johnny out in Atlanta who wants to chime in. Johnny, welcome into Westwood One Sports Night, brother. What you got for us?
What's going on? I want to speak on Ray Rice, Kenneth Walker, and Kyler Murray real quick. First, with Ray Rice, he went
Rashee Rice. You talking about Rashee Rice?
Rashee Rice. That's a rite of passage, man. That's letting you know, okay, I made it now. Give me an Instagram model. We can have fun.
Hey, look, I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him
neither. That's a rite of passage. He gonna use it. They gonna play around with it for the week, throw it back to the streets. That's how it is. And then that Kenneth Walker situation.
Johnny, you sound like you talking from personal experience, bro, man. What's up, Slim? Look,
hey, man,
I wasn't familiar with your game, pimp.
Hey, I had my time. I'm in my 40s now, but I had my times, my 20s. Man. So
suck it.
But Kenneth Walker, the Seattle let him go because guess what? They got Tyler Algier on the market, and then they got Breece Hall finna get ready to hit the market. Come on, man. They got Kenneth Walker is good, but he's in a place where okay, he can be replaceable. You got a lot of young running backs gonna be out there.
Johnny, I hear what you're saying real quick about Kenneth Walker. I want to push back on that.
Yeah.
You sound one.
Okay.
I hear the saltiness in your voice that y'all about to lose Tyler Algier. It's okay.
I'm so sad. I'm sad about that.
You're going to be able to deal with it. But here's the thing. Kenneth Walker, I thought, man, I think the way that he played in the Super Bowl, that's who he was all season long for Seattle, man.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the more dynamic backs in football.
But they think he'll go out and get a lot higher price tag where you can get probably Brees Hall or Tyler Algier.
Brees Hall got the tag, so he's not available. So
he did get a tag. He did get a tag. I thought they were going to let him walk. Okay, my bad. Well, they got Tyler Algier out there, and I hope he goes to a good place. I hope he need to be a starter because he's going to be a dominant back in the future. And last day with Kyler Murray, man, he better go to the Jets.
You don't want him down there in Atlanta?
No, won't need him in Atlanta. We already got rid of the. No, won't need that here. Can't do that with 6 feet. 5'10". But I think he got to go somewhere where he can. He got to go somewhere where he can start because he's looking for another big payday. He'll go somewhere so he can start all the games and show that hey, I can still play. And the place right now that he can fight for a star position is the Jets and maybe Minnesota. He can fight for a starting position.
Johnny, I appreciate the call as always, brother. Minnesota's tough for me. I'll be honest with you. Minnesota's tough for me for the reasons I named. I don't want him in any of those Shanahan-like systems, honestly. Like I don't want him in any of those Kyle Shanahan systems, those Sean McVay systems. I don't think he can play on time and on schedule. He wants to freelance too much. He wants to run around too much. You cannot play that style of ball in those systems. Ask Robert Griffin III. Ask Trey Lance. Do I need to just keep naming failed Shanahan McVay quarterbacks? He's not in that mold. He's not. How can your name on X, Denton, peep this. How can your name on X be quit the emotional BS? And then you come out with these comments. The Commanders had that mindset with Brian Robinson Jr. Don't you ever in your life compare Kenneth Walker and Brian Robinson Jr. You're comparing a hoopty to a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Come on, man. Y'all got to be smarter than that. 310-840-4910 is the number. I do want to get into the Philadelphia Eagles here, and we'll do so momentarily. Let's first, though, get to our guy, Mr. Positive, Greg, out in Michigan, wanting to chime in. Greg, your thoughts here real quick on the two potential Kyler Murray destinations that have been rumored and whether or not the Colts should move forward with Daniel Jones.
Oh, Linnell, I wasn't going to go there. Boom shakalaka. Okay. I was going to go with Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles. We lost Knuckles, David Montgomery. And I wanted to ask you, how is that going to affect the Detroit Lions? Is it adversely going to affect them?
I believe that they're going to find a replacement. It will not be of the same caliber, obviously, because David Montgomery is a pretty damn good back. You know how I feel about your Lions, man. I think you guys are in a retool stage right now where you got to try to make some moves in between the margins to stay afloat. Everyone in that division is continuing to get better. I think Detroit up front in particular along that offensive line, you're seeing them try to retool on the fly, and it's got to be a retool, Mr. Positive, that I think they're diligent with because Jared Goff is a quarterback that needs a certain set of circumstances to be able to function at a high level.
Linnell, spot on. Everybody go for your dreams. Thanks for taking my call, buddy.
Appreciate you as always, man. Detroit's interesting. I want to talk about Philadelphia, but Detroit's the other team in the NFC that here's the thing. I'll bring it full circle. The way you all are panicking about Philadelphia, you should be panicking that way about Detroit. Everyone that I talk to, everyone that I listen to, all I continue to hear is the Philadelphia Eagles this, the Philadelphia Eagles that. The Eagles are falling off of a cliff. The Eagles need to trade A.J. Brown. The Eagles need to fire Nick Sirianni. No, they don't. The Eagles don't have an A.J. Brown problem. The Eagles don't have a Nick Sirianni problem. The Eagles don't even have, really, in my opinion, a Jalen Hurts problem. I think the demise of the Philadelphia Eagles is being greatly exaggerated. This is a football team, guys. that was in the Super Bowl 2 out of the past 3 seasons. And you all are talking about firing the head coach? You all are talking about trading the number 1 wide receiver? For what? For what? I guarantee you this. I guarantee, Oliver, you and your Packers, you would take a Super Bowl appearance in 2 out of 3 years. You wouldn't be trying to fire your head coach after that. I think it's ludicrous that this is the conversation right now surrounding Philadelphia. 310-840-4910. You can chime in on the Eagles as well. Are the Eagles being prematurely written off for the 2026 season? 310-840-4910. I believe that they are. This roster, to me, 1 through 53, is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best in all of the National Football League. And the thing that has me most encouraged with the Eagles, the thing that I'm most confident in when it comes to Philadelphia, is that defense that they have. What they accomplished last year defensively, what they have been the last several years defensively, under the guidance of Vic Fangio, is a legit unit. 5th in the NFL last year in terms of points per game allowed, in terms of yards per game allowed. They rank 13th. Their pass rush continues to be one of the more formidable groups in the National Football League. I think the Eagles, like I continue to say, 1 through 53, there aren't many rosters in the NFL that are better than what Philadelphia has. What I think is happening for Philly, they're a franchise, and my best friend's an Eagles fan, so I hear this all the time. They're a franchise whose expectations are set so high that anytime you fall short of the mark, it feels like the sky is falling. I can't relate. You know what I'm saying? The best put it in like layman's terms, the Philadelphia Eagles on the top of their refrigerator have Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. As a Commanders fan, I'm dealing with circled Honey Crisps and sugared cornflakes and things of that nature. The Eagles are high class, man. The Eagles shop at Neiman Marcus in Saks Fifth. The Commanders and other fan bases who do not win at the rate that Philadelphia does, you're shopping at Fashion Over Men's. You're shopping at H&M. You pick up what I'm putting out here? And by the way, shout out to H&M. This hoodie that I'm wearing right now, this Von Dutch hoodie, courtesy of H&M. If you were ever looking for a handsome 6'2", 280-pound black sports radio host to sponsor Fashion Over Men's, I think I know a guy for you. 310-840-4910 is the number. I also want to get into some college basketball as we continue to roll throughout this bad boy as well. But before we do that, anytime we take a trip to Florida, I tell the listeners, man, buckle up because you never know what you're going to get. It's something about that Florida water. Let's go down and dip our toe in it. Josh is in Miami wanting to check in. Welcome into Westwood One Sports Night, family.
What's going on, fam? How's everything going today?
I'm good, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. I just wanted to hit on the Kenneth Walker, conversation that you were having. If Seattle lets him go, they don't bump their head, bro. Because Sharps just got hurt.
Yep.
It's going to take him at least a year to bounce back. So who are they going to get to replace essentially Sharps and him? Makes no sense. First off, on that format. Secondly, the Miami situation with the QB is, how can we say, dog water down here?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, brother, and I keep it honest, man. I go by the author of authenticity. Y'all are royally screwed. I'm gonna tell you what the best case scenario is. You might as well just rock out with Quinn Ewers. Honestly.
I feel the same way. There is a quarterback out there that I wouldn't mind see coming to Miami. I don't know if Seattle would let go of Jalen Milroe, but I would kind of like to see a little bit of competition.
I'm sorry. And this is where, Josh, you're my man. I think you'd have called into us before. Do you realize, and I can mess with you here, how thirsty you sound? This is how you know you in the trenches, brother. You're clamoring for a Jalen Milroe trade. That's how bad the quarterback situation is in Miami. I feel you, brother.
It's horrible, but, I mean, you got to push him, and we ain't got no money for a quarterback. So
No,
what are we
don't.
looking at?
I think you put 2 in bubble wrap.
Everybody else is in. Everybody else is third man. Everybody else that's on that rookie deal.
Yeah, it's
If
tough
I'm
spot
the
to be in.
coach, if I'm the coach, when it comes to Tua, I'm sending Tua's ass out there all 3 preseason games.
He gonna get hurt, bro. Josh, this is why you can't do that. And I hear what you're saying. If he gets hurt, y'all are on the hook for the money still. That's the only reason I would push back. I appreciate the call as always, man. 310-840-4910 is the number. Jalen Milroe, hot damn. I'm so glad that as a Commanders fan, like, I'm not in the quarterback projects anymore. I'd have moved on to like a nice studio apartment with Jaden Daniels and Juju Watkins. And I don't know. I didn't have to bring up Juju. That was just me being royally immature. 310-840-4910 is the number. Here on Westwood One Sports Night, a lot more to get to, including a conversation surrounding college basketball. For the past couple of weeks, we've had a pretty hot-button debate about who the best player in the country was. The consensus best player in the country may be keeping his talents at the college game. I'll expound upon that next.
The Lions have traded running back David Montgomery to the Texans. The 28-year-old has scored over 30 touchdowns the last 3 seasons. Trades are happening, and we've got what you need to know. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Still rocking and rolling here on Westwood One Sports Night, taking you coast to coast. We tapped into the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham. I'll get you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Bunch of different ways you can hit me up. It is the People Show. We are absolutely nothing without you. I need a big favor from the people. I see you all getting active in the chat right now. There's something messy going on in the chat right now. I don't know exactly what it is. The fact that I'm giving it attention, I think is a red flag, and it's going to encourage the messy behavior to continue. I see you, chat. What chat are you talking about, Linnell? The YouTube chat. You doink. Subscribe, like, comment to Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube. We are on the hunt for 600 subscribers, but I'll say this. The king of North Kakalaki, Josh Graham, he challenged you all on X to get us to 500 subscribers. We're going to be at 500 by the time we're going to be at 500 by the time the night's over. By the time, and March is the longest month of the year, one of them. They got 31 days in this bad boy. By the time we hit April, we better be at 1,000 subscribers. And if we are at 1,000 subscribers come April, I got something for you. I'm just saying. I got something for you. 310-840-4910. What happened in the chat? I'm so confused. 310-840-4910 is the number here on Westwood One Sports Night. I told you there was a story in college basketball that I wanted to get to, and we'll get to that coming up here. I think right now, if we were to ask the question of who the best player in college basketball is, I think most people would go with A.J. DeBonsa, the freshman from BYU. He has had arguably one of the best freshman seasons we've seen in recent memory. The gravity of this dude and the way that he routinely puts BYU on his back, I continue to be impressed with him, honestly. And I think right now, if you had to draft today, I would be taking him as my number one overall pick. I don't think there's much of a debate about it here. He would be the number one overall pick, averaging 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 53% from the field, 36% from the three-point line. A.J. DeBonsa is the real deal, the best scorer that college basketball has seen in quite some time. When you consider that he is, maybe shoo-in is too strong of a word. When you consider that he is the clear-cut consensus to be the number one pick, especially the way that Darren Peterson's game has kind of fell off here down the stretch. Now, anything can happen in the tournament where a scout prefers one guy over the other, but it feels like DeBonsa is going to be the number one overall pick. How many times in recent memory have we seen this? And it feels like it's happening more and more with the added importance and emphasis on NIL. The last couple of years, we've seen the projected number 1 overall pick flirt with the idea of staying in college. It's no different for this year's projected number 1 overall pick, A.J. DeBonsa. A.J. DeBonsa had this to say when asked about going to the NBA next year.
But do you care about going number 1? Do you want to go number 1?
Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Well, I might not leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I might not leave college.
Why not?
No, I just got to return to the season.
So you haven't made up your mind that you're going to go into the draft?
Nah, my mom wants me to graduate.
Really?
Yeah, so I might not leave. But I might leave.
But he says there at the end, but I might leave. Look, I think it's fascinating, the decision he's got to make here. So A.J. DeBonsa's NIL valuation is in between $4 to $7 million annually. Denton, if you could help me out real quick, what is the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft slotted to make? Because I think with the new CBA that they put in, those dollar figures and guaranteed money are predetermined. With DeBonsa, though, when you consider how lucrative of an NIL package he's getting, let's just call it $7 million annually. If he was drafted as the number 1 overall pick, he would make.
Cooper Flagg got 40 years, $62 million. That's 13 a year.
So basically, he would double his money by going to the NBA, and he wouldn't have to go to class, and he wouldn't have to deal with the stupid rules of being a member of BYU's campus. I don't want to say stupid rules. That was very inappropriate. They have their rules on their campus. They're a very religious school, but I do know that they do bend the rules sometimes for athletes. What the hell is A.J. DeBonsa talking about? Now, I get the idea of his mom wanting him to graduate. And by the way, I absolutely love that. I'm a big proponent of that. This past weekend, I was praising Flau'jae Johnson of LSU, who could have left this past year and been a lottery pick in the WNBA draft, but wanted to get her degree, wanted to continue to be an active face and voice on campus. I don't know if that's DeBonsa's motive, but if he's making – here's the thing, though. If he's making $7 million this year, can't he just tear up his NIL bag and get another one next year? BYU just landed the number 6 overall prospect in the class of 2026. All of a sudden, BYU's got money out the wazoo. I don't know if I have a problem with it. Because here's the transparent part about this. Danny Ainge, president of basketball operations, I believe is his official title, former executive for the Celtics, now with the Utah Jazz, he is directly responsible for the NIL fund. He is directly responsible for the NIL bag and resources that BYU now has. And I think this makes way for a pretty interesting conversation. If you're just now joining us here on Westwood One Sports Night, the projected number 1 overall pick, A.J. DeBonsa, who is I don't know, man. I want to tag you in on this here to give some perspective on just the talent of A.J. DeBonsa. I think A.J. DeBonsa is a better prospect than Cooper Flagg. I think I'm trying to have the conversation, Denton. I would have to go back to Victor Wembanyama. Like, that's the last prospect to me on DeBonsa's level. And that's no shade at all to Coop. Like, Coop's a dog. We're seeing it this year in the NBA. I just think DeBonsa's a little bit more polished and skilled offensively.
I was going to say there's some explosion there that he plays with, and that's just the nature of the position. Yeah, I think Cooper is really versatile when it comes to handling the basketball in a way that maybe A.J. DeBonsa is not, but I also think that he is likely going to land in an organization that's not going to ask him to handle the basketball. There's just a level of explosion that he has that's really fun to watch on not a nightly basis, but it will be a nightly basis when he gets to the NBA this year. I don't buy this at all.
So you think he's capping?
I think it is full cap, luncheon maybe even. Yeah. I mean, how many guys do this? right? How many guys be like, I'm actually going to stay in school. I don't know why they do this, but Zion did it, Cooper Flag did it. All the good players do this.
Yeah, I think there's some legitimacy to, like, his mom wanting him to graduate. I think all the moms want their kids to graduate. But here's the thing. It's not like going to the NBA prevents that.
Yeah, you can still graduate. And to my knowledge, they still honor portions of your scholarship, even if you do go leave. But if you leave, look, bro, you get $62 million. You can afford to take some classes.
I'm about to say, man, you can you can play a little summer ball, do a little summer school, and get it how you live, so to speak. What I think this opens up the door for is a bigger conversation surrounding college athletics. With the way that NIL has kind of been pushed to the forefront and the importance level of it, I can just remember, man, I had this conversation all the time with my cousin and my brother. Like, we always say it, man, my aunt and uncle used to have this rule because they bought into our sports careers just as much as we did. That's why I'm so thankful that I had, people that raised me like that. Not everybody, is brought up in a household like that. And it just so happens that I love sports, so it all worked. But I hated it at the time, how much they were pushing me. They used to say, man, do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups every night before bed. And you know what I'm thinking. I'm watching the main event of Monday Night Raw. I don't want to be doing push-ups and sit-ups and turning my attention away from the TV. There was a point in time where you did it for a certain amount of time. You saw results. You felt good about yourself. But in all, I just didn't want to do it. Boy, I wish I listened to my aunt and uncle. With all the money that's out there via NIL and college athletics, I'm still, at this point in my life, considering it, man. I got my weight vest in the closet. I got a bunch of hills around here. I know I could go get me a bag as a guard or a 3-tech or a defensive end in today's NIL landscape. I know I could. But the fact that I'm even thinking about it, the fact that I'm even considering it, is simply because the money is too damn good to turn down. And it makes me think. I remember, man, like back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'm talking pre-NIL, the goal amongst kids in underserved communities was, hey, let me get to the league, whether that's the NBA or the NFL, so I could buy my mama a house, so I can break my generational curse, so I can provide generational wealth. With the way that NIL has boomed here over the past really 3-4 years, I think the goal has changed. The goal, if you're a kid in the inner city in a underserved community, the goal is no longer to get to the pros. You can get generational wealth at the collegiate level. Do we think that with this boost in NIL, in this emphasis that's being put on NIL, do we think that it's going to change the mentality of the youngsters coming up? Will we have kids that are less motivated to go pro because they can get the pro salary at the collegiate level? 310-840-4910 is the number. Now, Denton just gave us the numbers here, right? You double your money if you're DeBonta by going pro, getting $13 million as a rookie compared to the $7 million you're going to get an NIL. But if you're DeBonta, you're, word to Brock Lesnar, you're the next big thing. You are the guy. So DeBonta's got enough pull to where he can go up to Danny. Yoo-hoo! Mr. Ainge, rip this NIL contract up. I want $14 million because I don't want to go to the NBA, but I don't want to lose any money. I can see Danny Ainge now. Sure, AJ, we'll do whatever to make sure that our basketball program is relevant. Like, that's where we're at right now. And I think that's the other interesting part about this as well. And it sucks that if you're a local guy like from the DMV, and if you're from an area, let's say, where your school doesn't have any prominent alumni, you're kind of behind the 8 ball here. Nobody that's graduated from the University of Maryland, for example, has got a deep enough bag to single-handedly impact the NIL at the school. The example I use, James Harden with Arizona State. James Harden throwing buku money towards the Arizona State basketball program. Why? Why? because he cares about his alma mater. Trae Young giving buku money back to Norman, Oklahoma, where he played his college basketball at. Why? Because he cares about the program. I'm all for that being a part of the conversation, but this is the bigger picture convo I want to have at 310-840-4910. The presumptive number one overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, A.J. DeBonsa, he is seriously considering staying in school. This would have never been a conversation. This wouldn't have been a conversation 7-8 years ago because of the money that you're turning down. With how much NIL is skyrocketed, and now that you have the ability to make that generational wealth at the collegiate level, do you see more guys like DeBonsa making the decision to forego the pros to stay in college? I think the conversation at the NFL level is fascinating because of the violence that comes with the sport. In the NFL, my rule of thumb would be get your bag and get the hell on out. You can make generational money in college and never have to play in the NFL and still have the generational wealth. Do you see NIL and this explosion of NIL? Do you see it impacting young men and women, their desire to go pro in their respective sport? 310-840-4910 is the number as we take you coast to coast here on Westwood One Sports Night. I'm fascinated by this conversation, and I want to put myself in DeBonsa's shoes here. I want to take the mentality of the collegiate athletes for a second, because if I'm being honest, like if it was me, I would legitimately have something to think about, man, especially with football. But basketball is a little bit different. 310-840-4910. The presumptive number one overall pick in the NBA draft, A.J. DeBonsa, seriously considering staying another year at BYU. This is another example of the impact of NIL. Do you see more top college stars being willing to make this decision? Your call's on that next.
The Seahawks are letting Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker walk. The 25-year-old is coming off a 1,000-yard season and is now a free agent at the peak of his powers. Who gets him? We'll tell you every move as it happens. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Yes, indeedy. Still kicking it to you as we take you coast to coast here on Westwood One Sports Night. You're tapped into the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham, taking you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Number to get at me, 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. You can tweet at me as well, same handle on each and every social media platform. It is at NELL_BTP. If you're checking us out via the live stream on YouTube and X, we appreciate you. Just a little message to the faithful of this program as I update the standings, but these aren't standings. These are just the real numbers of this radio program on YouTube. We're at 488 subscribers. I think we should easily get to 500 by the end of the night. There are so many people out there nationwide on 180 plus affiliates out there throughout the country that we can at least get 12 more subscribers to the YouTube page. Like, subscribe, and comment to Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube, long form content of the show, entire segments, YouTube shorts. And then at the end of this bad boy, you get all 4 hours in its entirety. Just search Westwood One Sports Night. I want to get to, by the end of March, it's March the 4th. By the end of March, I want to be pushing and getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I know that's a pretty big number, but I got pretty big dreams and aspirations. So should you. I want to re-rack the conversation we were having in the last segment if you're just now joining us. A.J. Debonsa has been the best player in college basketball this year, in my opinion. I think he's the best scorer in college basketball that we've seen in recent memory. And I think as far as how he projects as a prospect, he is the best prospect to come out since Victor Wembanyama a couple of years ago. I think he is a franchise-altering talent. He makes $4 to $7 million annually in NIL. And I would think that number is 7 or higher, if I'm being honest, if I'm being frank. A.J. DeBonsa had some comments earlier today that, quite frankly, kind of rocked the basketball world. Here's what A.J. DeBonsa had to say about taking his talents to the NBA.
But do you care about going number one? Do you want to go number one?
Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Well, I might not leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I might not leave college.
Why not?
No, I just got to return to the season.
So you haven't made up your mind that you're going to go into the draft?
Nah, cause my mom wants me to graduate.
Really?
Yeah, so I might not leave. But I might leave.
but I might leave at the end is very telling. But I think this conversation and a decision like this from a guy like DeBonsa is only going to become more and more prevalent throughout college athletics because of just how significant the NIL money is out there. Cooper Flagg last year, as the number one pick in the draft, signed a 4-year, $62 million contract. And that's about $15.5 million annually. And then what did he get guaranteed last year, Denton? What was it, $13 million?
It's 13 a year. I think it's around half guaranteed.
Okay. So
you get 2 years guaranteed. So
if you're A.J. DeBonsa, that's the type of money you're potentially turning down at the next level. $13 million on average. I think it's, what was it, 4 for 62?
Yeah, 4 for 62. His first year salary is $13.82 million. 2 years guaranteed, and then you can get extensions and such after.
So basically, DeBonsa, if he goes to the NBA, would be doubling his salary. I think that conversation can be tweaked a little bit. It can be interpreted differently. Because if he stays at BYU, I guarantee they double his NIL. Like, I can see them giving him $14 million to play. 110%. So with that being said, it feels like to me we may be witnessing a changing of the guard when it comes to the mentality of collegiate athletes. Because remember, the goal was, if you were a young man or a young woman in an underserved community, if you came from poverty, you want to go to the National Football League or to the NBA or to the W to create generational wealth, to break generational curses, to be able to buy your mama a house, especially if you were somebody that struggled growing up as an athlete. That money you're getting at the pro level, you can now get it at the collegiate level. Is this going to discourage some guys from going pro? 310-840-4910.
Let's see it.
Like,
I'm waiting.
Let's see somebody make the decision.
I mean, who's going to make the decision? Because you got to think about it, right? So you just laid out that contract, $62 million over 4 years. Mm-hmm. If you're the number one overall pick, you're effectively guaranteed $100 million. Because even if you suck for 4 years, somebody will take a chance on you for at least another 2 years after that 4 because you were so talented. Maybe the medicals didn't work out. Hey, we have medical teams that your other operation didn't have. There's a redemption window. That's at least $100 million that you're going to be guaranteed. And in most cases, it's a lot more. It's probably like 200, right? Like Zion had all these issues, and Zion Williamson still got the bag on his rookie extension. Right. So, like, you can talk about, hey, I want a degree. Hey, I want Crumble Cookie to give me cookies for life, and they're going to pay me a couple $1 million. But when you get the potential of $200 million put in front of your face, to quote Ted DiBiase, everybody got a price.
Yeah, I agree with it for the most part. I think, you all can hit us up on the phones with us at 310-840-4910. You can get at us in the YouTube chat as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube to catch the show nightly, the visual element of the program. And I think you're right, for one. Nobody's done it. No one's had the kahunas. No one's had the onions to do it to this point. I think the conversation at the NFL level is going to be more fascinating because of how grueling the game is at the next level. 310-840-4910 is the number. What up, Mike? I got Mike in Chicago wanting to lock in. Mike, what do you think, man?
I think they should get rid of the NIL.
You think they should get rid of it?
Get rid of it. Give the
Why?
guys $100 a week. The coaches should get no
Hey,
commercial.
Mike, say goodbye. 310-840-4910 is the number. Some people have their favorite spot on the court where they know that they're cash money from. I'm like a right wing type of guy. There are certain callers I know I can go to that are going to be cash money. Our guy James is in Gainesville wanting to chime in. James, do you think the ever-changing landscape of NIL is going to deter some collegiate athletes from wanting to jump to the pros?
I think it will, Donnell, because some of them are going to take the money at the college level while they can get it. You know, I really think though that Roe are paying a lot of college athletes, and they need to keep it structured to where the college program in sports is a pathway to the professionals and not a substitute for it. You know, because if you're going to pay them all this money in college, you might as well get rid of pro sports altogether and just have college if that's where you're going to make all your money at. You know.
Yeah.
Well, now I have one thing I want to mention NBA wise to you.
Real quick, as we got about 30 seconds.
I want to know what your thoughts are on Trae Young debuting for the Wizards coming up Thursday. And I know you're a huge Wizards fan, so I think you should write the question. And thanks for the call. Okay.
Yes, indeedy, brother. 310-840-4910 is the number. Taking your calls on this, AJ DeBonsta, the presumptive number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, having real conversations about staying another year in college. This wouldn't be a conversation if it wasn't for the extensive NIL bag that he's going to be able to get. Are we potentially seeing a changing of the guard here? Will these collegiate athletes start foregoing the opportunity to go pro based off of how big the NIL bag is? Your calls on that next here on Westwood One Sports Night.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Party continues as we take you coast to coast here on Westwood One Sports Night. You're tapped into the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham. I'll get you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Number to hit me up, 310-840-4910. You can tweet at me as well, same handle on each and every social media platform. It is at NELL_BTP. We appreciate you locking in with the show, however you're doing so. Sirius XM Channel 375, WestwoodOneSports.com, the always free Westwood One Sports app. You can check us out via the YouTube and X live stream as well. On YouTube, just make sure you search Westwood One Sports Night. Like, subscribe, comment for long-form content of the show, full segments, and then at the end of this bad boy, you get all 4 hours in its entirety. Just make sure you search Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube. A lot more to get to as we continue to take your calls at 310-840-4910. I brought this conversation up during the summer last year because I'm pretty passionate about it. And I think all of us out there with this topic in particular can relate because we can answer this question and put ourselves under the microscope in terms of what we care about. A.J. Debonsa, the presumptive number one overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, he had this to say about the potential of foregoing the NBA draft.
But do you care about going number one? Do you want to go number one?
Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Well, I might not leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I might not leave college.
Why not?
No, I just got to return to the season.
So you haven't made up your mind that you're going to go into the draft?
Nah, my mom wants me to graduate.
Really?
Yeah, so I might not leave. But I might leave.
I geek at it every time, but I might leave part. I think that conversation is going to become more and more prevalent as the NIL valuations continue to go up. If you're just now joining us, the numbers are this. A.J. DeBonsa, $7 million this year at BYU. Last year, Cooper Flagg, the number one overall pick in the draft, made $13 million in year one with the Rockets. When I was coming up, and I'm 28, right, youngest in charge. When I was coming up, the thought process was, man, everybody wanted to go to the NFL. One, we loved football, right? Like everybody, we played backyard football. We played it at the bus stop before school. We played it after school. We just loved the sport. But a lot of us had hoop dreams, is what I like to call it. One of the best documentaries you'll ever watch, by the way. If you got the chance to go peep that, you should go do it. We had hoop dreams. We wanted to go pro, so we didn't have to go to the church and get cereal and potatoes and the free goods that they were giving away. We wanted to go pro, so we didn't have to get reduced lunch. We wanted to go pro, so mom didn't have to work several jobs, right? A lot of youngins from these underserved, underprivileged communities, they wanted to go pro to break the generational curse that exists in a family. And I think anybody out there that's had any type of aspirations of playing professionally, you know the thought process that I'm coming with here, right? That was the mentality. Now, when it comes to how significant these NIL valuations are, you don't have to go pro to create generational wealth. You don't have to go pro to retire your mom. You could do it at the collegiate level. So I ask you this at 310-840-4910. Because of the rise in NIL, will we eventually begin to see players either staying longer in college to collect that bag, or will we see players not want to go pro at all because they can get that money at the collegiate level? 310-840-4910. Now, I get it, right? You can make significantly more money, it seems like, right now at the pro level. But I'm telling you, man, Denton, if you can help me out with this, what's the biggest NIL valuation in college football? Because I know DeBonsa at his $7 million clip, I would think he's the highest paid player right now in college basketball.
If you look at NIL valuations according to On3, AJ DeBonsa at $4.2 million is the second highest paid player in college athletics right now. He and Jeremiah Smith each have 4.2. Arch Manning has 5.4.
So DeBonsa's deal, On3 has it listed as 4.2. I know from doing some prior research that it's up to $7 million. I don't know if that's an escalating salary or the way that works, but the bottom line is you can get good money at the collegiate level. Daily Rose says $2 to $5 million is not generational wealth. I think that's an interesting conversation and debate to have because I pick up what you're putting down, but that's life-changing money, right? It's life-changing. And our guy Decatur dude chiming in says some of these guys may not make the same money in the pros. For some folks, that is for damn sure going to be the case. Like the Diego Peava kid, he's not going to make the money at the pro level that he's making in college because he sucks. That just is what it is. Some players are great collegiate players. Some players are ultimately great pros. Do you think we're witnessing, or we may be shifting towards a change in mentality when it comes to the collegiate athlete with how significant these NIL valuations are? Because these numbers, here's the thing. Denton just gave us the numbers. Those numbers are only going up. That's my thing here. Yeah, it may be $7 million now. What is it going to be next year if he returns? For Arch Manning, yeah, maybe $5 million now. What is it going to be the year after that if he decides to return? And is that money going to be significant enough to detract guys from going pro? 310-840-4910 is the number. Let's go to Lee out in Ohio wants to check in. Lee, what's going on, brother? Welcome in to Westwood One Sports Night.
What's going on? First time caller, actually.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you locking in with us, man.
I work in a barber shop, so I'm definitely going to put this question out there a little more.
Yeah,
but I think, it's something that I've thought about. I got a nephew that played for Indiana.
Okay.
He's a freshman this year, and
national champion. Put some respect on your nephew.
Yes,
now.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Put some respect on his name, Keyshawn Calhoun. But
yes,
I think that it's an opportunity for them to create generational wealth while in college. One of the things I was thinking about is, after they get done with college, will they even want to go pro at all?
That's what I'm saying. Right. Especially, bro, Lee, think about this, right? I think it's different when it comes to basketball and football because basketball is not as violent. With football,
right.
Slim, why the hell am I going to bang my head against the wall when I don't have to?
Right. And that's exactly what I said. Why go beat up my body? And I'm done.
Right.
I've created enough wealth, to have a great start in life. I'm actually a pro while in college and getting an education. Right. And once I get my education, I can go into whatever field I'm in, and I'm carrying money with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or if you're really trying to scratch that itch, so to speak, Lee, I'm sure if you're nice enough, they say, come on, Slim, you can be a coach on our staff. Yep. And then you making money to still stay around the game. So I think it's fascinating. Lee, I appreciate you, man. Hopefully we make you a part of our Westwood One Sports Night family, man. We appreciate the call. 310-840-4910 is the number. Hopefully we have better luck with this. Mike in Chicago. Mike, what do you got, man? What do you think about the potential of NIL preventing guys or discouraging guys from going pro at the collegiate level?
Mike, I promise I'm not like the last Mike in Chicago that called in. No disrespect, Mike, if you're still listening.
He's probably not. He sounded like he was 2 shots away from being done.
He's having a good night. No, listen, it creates complications for sure. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the other side of it being instead of the money going into the players' pockets, who's bringing in all the money, it's going into the dean and everyone else at the school who doesn't deserve the money, right? So some way, somehow, these kids should be getting paid. I'm not the big brain that's controlling it all, to regulate this. I think it's definitely an incentive to stick around, though. And to be honest with you, in sports like college basketball, I'm completely fine with it. Keep them there for 5 years. I'd rather watch that than the NBA 10 times out of 10.
I don't think you're wrong with that. I think it damn sure, and I appreciate the call, I think ultimately with guys staying longer, I think the ancillary benefit of that is the product improves at the collegiate level, right? Or excuse me, the product improves at the pro level because instead of getting all these one-and-dones and these young puppies, you're getting some established, real-deal OG vets that have put in the work, that have the war wounds, so to speak. 310-840-4910 is the number. The presumptive number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft, A.J. DeBonsa from BYU. To me, the best college basketball prospect since Victor Wembanyama, leading the country in scoring, and is going to be the number 1 overall pick if he decides to leave. That's the big question, though. There is all of a sudden a little bit of uncertainty around whether or not A.J. DeBonsa is going to go pro. DeBonsa had this to say about the idea of going to the NBA.
But do you care about going number 1? Do you want to go number 1?
Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Well, I might not leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I might not leave college.
Why not?
I just got to return to the season.
So you haven't made up your mind that you're going to go into the draft?
Nah, cause my mom wants me to graduate.
Really?
Yeah, so I might not leave. But I might leave.
The reason this is a conversation is because of those words there from AJ DeBonsa. I will push back, though, and continue to say that, like, hey, like, you can graduate whether or not you decide to stay or not. But it's fascinating because DeBonsa and others across the country have NIL valuations that are so big that it makes them seriously consider whether or not it's worth going to the pro level. The other piece of it is this. I know this from being a high school football player. It was told to me, and I went on to play college as well for a limited amount of time. It was told to me, though, man, by everybody that came before me, and I really started hearing this in my sophomore year going into my junior year, that, man, there's nothing ever in your life that's going to compare to running out of that tunnel on a Friday night in front of all your peers. There's nothing that will ever compare to that. I don't care what heights you ultimately reach in your athletic career. It'll be nothing like the Friday night feeling of running out of that tunnel, right? I think the same can be said about accomplishing the feat of winning a national championship. You will be forever remembered by the thousands of alumni and the thousands of fans out there. If you're DeBonsa, does that in combination with the NIL money factor into your decision? Because if you all don't know, BYU this afternoon landed the number 6 overall recruit in the class of 2026. So if DeBonsa does return, he's returning to a team that may have an opportunity to win a national championship. 310-840-4910 is the number. Manny chiming in from B-More. Wanting to lock in. Manny, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good,
Hey, I agree with first of all, I'm gonna make 2 points. I agree with some of the callers, especially like the past caller, where he pretty much said like a lot of these kids, it seems like they're starting to get smart, especially the football players, because they're like, well, I'm going to bang my head up against a wall, and especially when they see the effect the NFL has on your body and your brain. It's like, if I can make some NIL money and I can turn that into some generational wealth, especially some of the kids that are in maybe the financial sector, they can turn that money into something profitable and make it work for them instead of, like you said earlier, going to the NFL, banging your head, and 3-4 years down the line, it's like a meat grinder. They throw you out. So why not make me a couple of dollars now and you know, turn that money into something else? As far as the NBA, I heard a couple callers back where it was like, oh, they should change the NIL and this, that, and the third. I understand to a certain extent what they're talking about, but the thing I get from the way they were talking, it was almost like they're mad because the talent is not coming out anymore, so they don't get entertained like back when in the Roman days. It's like, oh, you're not entertained. They're not putting them on that Coliseum. And my thing is, I think a lot of these kids are starting to realize, hold up, man, it's a business at the end of the day, especially with the NBA. I mean, with the NBA, like you was talking about the kid AJ DeBonsa, where he can make his money. He's second guessing the NBA, and I understood you said earlier tonight, you know, some of these kids, you know, if you go number one, you may be able to make $200 million. But at the end of the day, do you really want to go to the NBA? And it's like I say, even with the NFL, the NBA can be like a meat grinder, because I read articles a couple years back. Some of them players not getting sleep. They on these flights and this, that, and the third. It's like
not the ideal conditions that I think the casual fan would think about, Manny. And I appreciate the call, brother. Appreciate you locking in with us. Manny made a hell of a point. Couple of good points. And I guess I haven't hit on it hard enough. It is a meat grinder, man. Decatur dude chiming in on the YouTube chat saying, do you think NIL saved college basketball from one-and-done culture? To Denton's point, to reiterate the words of my better half, it hadn't happened yet. And I think Denton made a very astute point with that. We can talk about it till we're blue in the face. We can, you know, speculate if the conversation is shifting in another direction all we want. But until it actually happens, what do we have to go off of here? 310-840-4910 is the number here on Westwood One Sports. Bunch of different ways you can lock into the show. Sirius XM channel 375, WestwoodOneSports.com, and the always free Westwood One Sports app. We encourage you to check out the visual element of the program as well. We're streaming live nightly on YouTube and X. On X, you can get at me at NELL_BTP. Same handle on each and every social media platform. And then on YouTube, man, like, subscribe, and comment. Search Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube to check out long-form content of the program, including all 4 hours in its entirety once we wrap this bad boy up. 310-840-4910. Carrie out in Ohio wanting to check in. Carrie, what you got for us, man? Welcome into Westwood One Sports Night.
How you doing, my friend?
I am doing swell, my brother. I appreciate you making the choice to dial in tonight, man.
Hey, I think a lot of this has to do with maybe some competitive juices. Some of these athletes, I don't know. I think they enjoy being a big fish in a little pond. A guy like DeBonza, you know, not every night is he going up against the best of the best. I mean, playing for BYU, man. I mean, some of the competition he's going up against ain't near at the level he's at, and maybe staying at that level might be appealing to him. Maybe going.
Well, hold on
against,
now.
you know,
It's hard to say that. He's playing in the best conference in college basketball right now. Talking about the Big 12. So I don't know if he's ducking. But I hear what you're saying, though.
No. Yeah, not ducking, but I mean, hey,
it ain't his preference.
Yeah, coming back and playing college, and not every night am I going up, against, a LeBron James or a Wembanyama. I'm going up against, guys that are glad to be at the college level, maybe won't even make it to the pro level, and I can still bring home a $7 million bag without even working that hard.
Yeah.
You go to the pro level, you're no longer a big fish in a little pond. You're a big fish going up against other big fish.
I think you hit it right on the head, and I appreciate the call. I got Daily Rowe with a spicy take here. 3 to 4 year college players are suspect. Probably means they can't really play pro. That's interesting. I think it's so fascinating the way that the culture in college athletics has changed to where the 3 and 4 year college player, when I was in elementary school and even before that, right, going in a middle school, like that was the norm. It now is the furthest thing from. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends, our tremendous friends, I might add, at Progressive Commercial Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance protects small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com. 310-840-4910 is the number. A lot more to get to as we continue to take you coast to coast here on a Tuesday night edition of Westwood One Sports Night. There is a rivalry that is brewing that's unprecedented. A professional sports franchise versus a sports media pundit. I'll give you the tea on that beef next.
The Cardinals will reportedly release Kyler Murray. Will the former #1 pick get a Sam Darnold-like reset? It's the NFL news that matters. Westwood One! On Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Welcome to the after party here on Westwood One Sports Night with the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham, taking you up to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Number to hit me up, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. You can tweet at me as well, same handle on each and every social media platform. It is at NELL_BTP. Make sure you check out the visual element of the program as well. Get over to the YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment. Just search Westwood One Sports Night on YouTube to catch the show nightly. This has been a fascinating conversation we've had here surrounding NIL, one and done, and ultimately the big question at hand that I have for you all at 310-840-4910, and you all can tweet at me as well, as I mentioned. I want to read a tweet here before we get back out to the phones. I got Jonathan Lee tweets at me and says, the kids nowadays can get NIL money and not be physically hurt playing football at the next level, and if invested wisely, they'll be financially straight for the rest of their lives, and they can still be a coach. It's almost like Jonathan Lee took the words right out of my mouth. It's almost like Jonathan Lee knows ball. I couldn't agree more with what Jonathan Lee said. I don't think, here's where I'll put it. I don't think the NIL valuation right now is currently big enough to have enough guys really make this decision. But I think as we're seeing, those valuations are only increasing here. So it may not be a thing now, but 4, 5 years down the line, and we know college football and college basketball, they ain't going to have a salary cap by that point because they scared a confrontation. I think this is going to become a real deal, legitimate argument. If you're just now joining us, man, the conversation is this at 310-840-4910. A.J. DeBonsa, the presumptive number 1 overall pick coming up in the 2026 NBA draft, he is seriously considering not going to the NBA. Why? He makes, via On3, between $4 to $7 million in his NIL deal right now with BYU. Cooper Flagg, the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft this past season, made $13.3 million. Are we going to start seeing guys foregoing the draft because the NIL money's too damn good? 310-840-4910. I'll continue to use the example that I've used all night, man. When we have this conversation, my thoughts organically go to the inner city kid in the underserved community who's only playing ball, one, because he loves it, obviously, first and foremost, but he sees it as an avenue to break a generational curse. He sees it as an avenue to retire his mom, to retire his dad. A lot of dudes, man, coming up when I was growing up, I'm saying this like I'm old as hell, as a 28-year-old, right? Like, that was the mentality of a lot of people that I knew. That generational wealth that you're searching for in the big why as to why you want to make the pros, you can now make that money in college. With that being the case, are we going to start seeing more players stay longer in college? And I'll take it a step further. Are we going to start seeing some people bypass going to the pros as a whole, specifically when it comes to the National Football League? 310-840-4910 is the number. Let's go to Corey out in Bmore. Wants to check in. Corey, welcome into Westwood One Sports Night, brother.
What's happening, champ? How you feeling this morning?
Doing good, brother. Doing good.
All right, bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. Now, I put the fault on the NCAA. They should be kicking themselves in the ass because when it
100%.
when it got presented to them, they should have already had a cap on what they should give these college athletes and whatnot. Also, I was never a fan of the one and done. So Adam Silver, he needs to get back in there and do some rethinking about that because that microphone should have never been in that young man's face to ask him anything about whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to go. College football, you can't come out of college football not unless you're a junior. I applaud that. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the young kid named down in Miami? He's a superstar. Malachi.
Talking about Malachi Tony, yeah.
Exactly. He's a superstar. The only thing that Miami needs to be worrying about if that young man is going to get a bigger NIL deal to transfer, to go into the portal.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of things that's going on with it. All that got to be reevaluated. But that NBA stuff, man, that should have been kicked out of the league a long time ago, man.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Corey, because I think you did a great job of helping us push this conversation forward. Put yourself in the shoes of the athlete, man. You probably played once upon a time. When you were playing as a kid, man, obviously you want to make the pros because of your love for the game, but also you think about the generational wealth that it can create. If you were in this situation now and you were coming up in this day and age, would your goal be to go pro, or is your goal just to go get that big NIL sack?
I think it has to be on your upbringing, man. You know what I'm saying?
I love that answer, by the way,
man.
I do.
If your family says, I want you to get that degree on top of you making some money, why not do both?
Right.
But just to sit up there and jump, just to have a young kid that's 17, 18 years old, just playing one year college, and you throwing a microphone in his face talking about, are you going to go to the pro or this, that, and the third? Of course he's going to sit up there and give you some okie doke, or he's going to sit up there and say, yeah, I'm going to go pro. It should never be in his face, man. It should never.
I think it's a fascinating conversation. I appreciate the call as always, Corey. 310-840-4910 is the number. 310-840-4910 is the number. Let's go out to Chris in Ohio wants to check in. Chris, welcome into Westwood One Sports tonight, brother. What you got?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you making the show a part of your night, man.
Thank you, sir. I just want to bring up a point. I just got off work. I listen to you guys every night. I love the show.
I appreciate you.
I haven't heard anybody talk about these college kids that are making these millions of dollars. One reason why they might want to stay is because they can stay in college and keep living their best life.
Right. No responsibility. Look, no bills.
You know
no responsibilities. I hear that part of it, brother, for sure. Why would look? I can say it as a 28-year-old. Adulting sucks. I'm growing up in real time with you all here. This is my first time having my own radio program, and it's nationally syndicated, so I'm blessed. But I also have bills that I got to pay. I also have real life obstacles that I got to go through. So I 100% feel where you're coming from on that. Appreciate the call as always, man. 310-840-4910 is the number. I think this is all fascinating. I do. Because I think what Corey said was spot on, in my opinion. I think this is going to be something that advances on a case-by-case situation. I think it's going to have a hell of a lot to do with your upbringing. Bottom line, and how you're wired mentally. The other part of this is interesting, too, is how much influence the parents have on this decision. Because DeBonta didn't really say what he wanted to do. The first thing that came out of his mouth is what his mom wants to do. And I totally understand the perspective. It's the woman that birthed you. Lord knows how much, countless hours she spent on the road, traveling with his AAU schedule, so on and so forth, man. So I totally get it. 310-840-4910. What we're asking you on the phones is this. With the ever-changing landscape of NIL and with these NIL valuations jumping through the roof, ladies and gentlemen, are we going to get to a point where the college athlete says, you know what? My goal isn't really to go to the pros. My goal was to create generational wealth. My goal was to retire my mom. My goal was to get a bag. Are we going to see collegiate athletes? Are we going to see them begin to bypass going pro? 310-840-4910. The reason we brought this up, the presumptive number one overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, A.J. DeBonta, he had this to say about the possibility of going pro.
But do you care about going number one? Do you want to go number one?
Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Well, I might not leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I might not leave college.
Why not?
No, I just got to return to the season.
So you haven't made up your mind that you're going to go into the draft?
Nah, cause my mom wants me to graduate.
Really?
Yeah, so I might not leave. But I might leave.
I keep laughing at it. If you got somebody out there that's younger than you that you talk to and you have conversation with and you try to give them guidance, you can hear the tone in his voice. So my mom wants me to get my degree. Like, you kind of heard him drag it out. My mom wants me to get my degree. Like, he understands where she's coming from, but he also saying, Mom, go to hell here now. I think it's a fascinating conversation. Denton, I want to tag you in on this. Can we create a scenario here on West One Sports Night? Can we use our imagination? Let's do that for a second. The year is 2013. 2013, you were what? Sophomore? Junior? In high school? You're coming in really low.
No, I graduated high school in 2013. Young ass.
Perfect. Even better. And Denton Day is the best. He's the best defensive back.
Wait, why are you laughing at that?
He's
you saying not a lot of white DBs? What's going on here?
Hey, man. Look, we are all here for the exciting whites. Denton Day's the best defensive back prospect in all the land. You got a big NIL bag coming your way from college of your choice, pal.
Okay, cool.
As you get geared up for your junior season,
Mm-hmm.
you have the decision on your hands to go pro and be a first-round to third-round pick, or you have the opportunity, because you're so damn good at this point as a junior, you have the opportunity to get an NIL valuation of $12 million for the year. What are you choosing to do? You going pro or are you staying in school?
$12 million a year, I would stay in school. Because if I'm at a look, man, like the craziest thing about this DeBonsta situation, I don't know how fun BYU is. Because when I think of college fun, I don't know that it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Cougar fans, chill. Yeah. But I don't know what kind of fun they're participating in. Because you can't ski if you're AJ DeBonsta. You can't.
Right.
That's in the contract. They are not about to let you be doing that stuff. So the fun that you can have in the mountains, you can't participate in. And theoretically, if they are honest, you can't participate in the fun that's not allowed there.
That's the thing. I feel like if you're a DeBonsta, what we call it in today's day and age is motion. When you got a certain amount of motion, man, you really do what the hell you want. And I think AJ DeBonsta on that BYU campus is having all of the motion. So I don't know if he's playing by the rules, but to Denton's point, to think that wouldn't factor into his decision is ludicrous. Let's go out to Anthony out of Newport Beach, California. Hey, appreciate you checking in to the program, brother. Welcome into Westwood One Sports Night.
Thanks, guys. Great show. I wanted to say, my brother and I were both very high-round draft pick baseball players, and he left. He was a first-round pick, 13th pick overall. He left early out of high school and regrets it because he passed up all those full rides. This is a long time ago, guys, 30, 25 years ago.
Okay.
And then I was a first-round draft pick out of college, and I left after my junior year, and I regret it because I missed out on my degree. Pro baseball is hard as hell. You got to be an adult. And that was with no money. I regret it. I couldn't imagine getting a bag. If these guys are getting paid 7 figures, I think they should stay. Are you kidding me? I would tell them all, enjoy the best time of your life. It's easy. It's fun. You're the best player in the country or one of them. And pro sports is hard, man. It is a hard business.
100%, man. I appreciate the perspective as always, my man. That's coming from a guy that's had to make the decision, a guy that has made the decision, but he didn't have NIL in his back pocket to influence that decision. I think it's fascinating, and I think as we continue to move forward, and look, the reality of it is the NIL valuation is only going up here, and as it continues to go up, man, I think we're going to see more and more athletes make the decision to stick around. 310-840-4910. We are on the verge of one of the most hilarious rivalries in the history of sports. I'll tell you who it's between next.
The Seahawks are letting Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker walk. The 25-year-old is coming off a 1,000-yard season and is now a free agent at the peak of his powers. Who gets him? We'll tell you every move as it happens. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Yes, indeedy. Here I go. About an hour and change left to go on the program. Here on a Tuesday night edition of Westwood One Sports Night. We appreciate you locking into us. However you're doing so, Sirius XM Channel 375, WestwoodOneSports.com, and the always free Westwood One Sports app. You can check out the visual element of the program as well. We're streaming live, baby, on the YouTube and on X. On YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. Look, this ain't a threat now because I love y'all. Y'all my people now. I would never threaten you. But y'all better get us to 500 subscribers by the time I wake up in the morning. Right now we're at 493. Josh didn't have faith in you all. I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call out the king of North Kakalaki. Josh thought you all needed an entire month to get us to 500 subs. Hell no. Get us to 600 subs by the end of March, and we got something special for you. You get us to 1,000 subs by the end of March, we may get Denton to try to grow his hair. Can we agree to that? Can that be, if we get to 1,000 subs, Denton? And by the way, when did you, because we put up the lovely Arby's picture last night, and I did not watch that video, which is why I do not have commentary for you yet.
I'm stunned.
I will get to it tonight. When did you make the decision to part ways with?
I like how you ask it as if it was a decision that I made. I was a part of a tag team wrestling match. It was me and my hairline versus God and bad genetics, and my hairline took the pin. It wasn't a decision. I saw a picture of myself, the back of my head, and I saw a whole lot of nothing going on there. I said, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm about to look like one of those like old school, remember like the monks that used to have that, which is not even how monks have their hair anymore. It's just a weird cartoon bit where they would do like a halo situation. I was almost like that, and I was like, I got to let this thing go. I told you, I bleached my hair to cover it, and it didn't work.
Wait.
It was one of the many reasons I bleached my hair.
Can you find that picture for us? I would
of like the back of my head or just the bleached hair?
Yeah,
the bleached hair, yeah, I can find that.
The bleached hair is a very good bit.
I went Super Saiyan.
So, if we do get to 1,000 subs, then now obviously we got to clear this with your significant other, because I don't want you to get any trouble with your wife because you're trying to grow your hair. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
It doesn't grow. Like, that's the problem. It grows in several spots, but not a lot of spots. And the not a lot of spots. Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna compare it to like a phone, right?
It grows in a lot of spots, but not a lot of spots.
If you have 75% charge on your phone, you're like, hey, that's a good ass day. I still got a lot of charge left on my phone.
Right.
If you have 75% of your hair left, everybody points and says, man, you're missing 25% of your hair. Bald MFer? I almost cussed. That would have been bad.
That's a hell of a comp, though. Okay. We can get you some Bosley?
I tried. You think I haven't tried these things? I knew pretty early.
I mean, you have what you need to be bald, is what I would say.
Thank you.
You have facial hair, and you have great facial hair.
Thank you. I didn't know where that was going. I was like, are you talking my personality? Because thank you.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, of course, you're the whole shebang. But I always compliment you on your facial hair. It is, now, Denton did a bit, and I don't remember what you told us your wife's reaction was to when the last time you shaved and, like, did the look. You know what look I'm talking about. When you
mustache?
You went just mustache?
Yeah. She didn't like that. But she was gone for a week. That's why I did it. She left. She went traveling, and I was like, well, I'm going to do a mustache because you're not going to be here.
That is so good. I'm sure a FaceTime call happened at some point while she's traveling, and she's like...
Yeah, she liked it on FaceTime and on the picture, and then she saw it in person, and she was like, I don't like it as much. I was like, thank you, sweetie. Appreciate the honesty.
I left you unsupervised for 1 week, and you come back, and I come back, and you've got a whole new look. Big night in college basketball as well that I want to get to coming up here momentarily. But I do want to wrap up the thoughts here with Chris in California on the A.J. DeBonsa situation that led us to this conversation. Will NIL and the valuation get so high and skyrocket so much that dudes start bypassing going pro? Chris is in Cali. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, Lindell. Listen, I hear what AJ's saying, and his mother has some say in his life. You know, I was the first kid in my family to go to college. I feel very proud of that. My brother was the second. But, you know, college makes a lot of difference in your life. And for him to be an adult going into the NBA would be more helpful than him being, you know, a guy that didn't get the graduation that he really wanted, that his mom really wanted. He's going to be a better person out there in the public because he did get his degree. He got that extra year. He got time to have his fun as a kid, and then get into being an adult when he does go into the NBA. I trust him, and I think that it's a really good decision on his behalf to just say that. Is it going to happen? We don't know, but I think that's a really interesting thing, and I think that your whole conversation that you started tonight is really worth thinking about. I mean, this is a lot of money that these kids get. This is nothing like it was when we were kids. I mean, there's no such thing as kids in college getting paid over $1 million or anything like that. So this is an interesting question, and I'm really glad that you brought it up tonight.
Yes, indeed, brother. I appreciate you helping us advance the conversation, man. 310-840-4910. I mentioned it was a pretty wild night in the world of college. I don't know what it is, man. As soon as I think about the 2 o'clock hour of the show, I just lose it, dog. So Denton, you all probably heard it. I mean, just the knuckle crack. Oh my God! Hold on, I gotta click my mic is muted button. First of all, you look you know who you look like, Denton?
I look like Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
You believe in Joe Hendry. That is wow. That's the first thing I thought was Joe Hendry.
I also need to figure something out with our StreamYard. I don't like when I upload things that it immediately just goes on the screen.
Yeah, like you don't even get the chance.
Like I don't even get the chance to like chill. Like that's why I had to wait until you were not in the middle of like a point with a caller.
Man, because you know I would have busted out. That is insane. Look, I ain't gonna lie, man. He said, I got Trap Whitaker jumping in and says, I'm following you because you mentioned DBZ. That would be Denton Day mentioning Dragon Ball Z. So there we go. Shout
You're
out
going to love a Majin Vegeta tattoo on my arm.
I'm about to say, man. Wow. 310-840-4910 is the number. I've been teasing it for really, it feels like, the past half hour. Stephen A. Smith and the New Orleans Pelicans are beefing pretty hard right now. And they're beefing over a former number 1 overall pick who may or may not have a eating disorder and a bad taste in women. I'll tell you who that is next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Oliver, you didn't even realize what you just did. This is Westwood One Sports Night with the youngest in charge, Linnell Willingham. Final hour of power as we get ready to hand things over to the Drake Toll Show. You can check us out a bunch of different ways. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're at 493 subscribers right now. I think we should be at 500 by the time we're on the air tomorrow. The goal is to get to 600 by the end of March. If you all can help us do that, I'll give you a YIC salute. You get us to 1,000, and you all are going to get the opportunity to call in, tweet in, text in options for Denton Day to grow his hair back. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm just putting Denton out there like this. It's actually criminal.
I don't mind in partaking in the festivities. I don't know why my hair. Like, you're picking the one thing that I literally cannot do.
That you can't control.
Like, I'll do a hot chip challenge. I'll do a bunch of crazy stuff for the good of the brand, but I literally can't grow hair.
Never say never, pal. Never say never. What a song. Wow. One of my favorite, movie theme songs is that. And, Oliver, I told you didn't know what you did because I don't know if you were here with us that night. And I don't think you were with us yet. We were having, the J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake conversation. And we're talking about J. Cole, right? And everybody loved Cole, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan. I love what he did, though, with the Honda Civic series. That's anytime you're a famous rapper or a celebrity and you get to show that you're a real person, I dig it. You came back with Workout. We asked Josh Graham his favorite J. Cole song. This freaked out ass man said Workout. I said, God damn, boy.
That's pretty crazy.
It's better than Wet Dreams.
Yeah, well, it's probably number 2 on his damn list. You kidding me? I look, I'm not a big J. Cole guy. I keep saying it.
Really?
I hope you all don't get turned off by my music takes. I know, Denton, you think they're horrible. Well, some of them. We
Not
agree
all of
on
them.
actually most things music, but
Yeah.
a couple of things we differ on. Our worlds collide in so many different ways. Me and Denton both from the DMV. Me and Denton both big Washington sports fans. Me and Denton also share a love for pro wrestling. Let me tell you just how hard. First of all, what did you have with your breakfast this morning, sir?
With my breakfast, I had oatmeal and almonds.
Did you have a side of CM Punk and Roman Reigns?
No, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch?
No, I didn't watch it.
Look, the feud hit so hard, D-Day, TMZ picked it up. TMZ picked it up and wrote a story. Oh, you think this
Yeah,
wrestling paying for it?
I think that's business with it. I did see a couple of the lines. Obviously, I don't know. I never got around to it.
This is what happens when you have stock in AEW. You don't credit anything that the big promotion does.
I loved the first one.
You just didn't like. Well, you don't know if you liked.
I don't know. Yeah, I literally don't know. I
ain't gonna lie, they went hard. They went hard. I enjoyed watching it last night. It's partially why I probably didn't fall asleep till 6:30.
I did watch the Elimination Chamber though.
What'd you think about that?
It was pretty good. I like the Elimination Chamber.
I like the concept of it. I think it's anytime you put 2 youngsters like Javon Evans and Trick Williams in a match like that, you're doing whatever you can to see how over they are. Trick is so over, man. Like, it's not even close. They need to put the belt on them. I'm at that point with it when it comes to, and they're in a good spot right now. Trick is very over. Javon Evans is very over. The Obafemi guy is over.
And they don't know what to do with any of them.
No, they don't, because the writers suck. 310-840.
This has been your wrestling corner.
Yeah, right. This has been the wrestling corner on Westwood One Sports Night. I mentioned it was a nutty night in the world of college basketball. A bunch of upsets across the country. I'll get you hip to them if you're just now joining the program. UCLA, probably the most impressive performance of the night, man. Donovan Denton company getting it going. And I don't even know why I'm mentioning Donovan Denton. It was Trent Perry who was the lead man tonight. 8 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 6 from downtown. UCLA beat Nebraska by 20. Remember a point in time a couple of weeks ago, Nebraska was undefeated, and we were geeked up thinking about, oh, my God, is Nebraska going to go the whole season undefeated? No. Nebraska continuously reminds us, my rule of thumb when it comes to the month of March and talking about who you think is going to advance. We don't believe in the Big Ten. We don't. Death, taxes, and the Big Ten not being good enough. That is ultimately how I feel here about college basketball. And Nebraska, who is one of the heavy hitters in the Big Ten, got spanked, losing by 20 on the road in your first game of the month of March. It's not a good look. Another upset that we saw, Darren Peterson in 14th ranked Kansas going down. Coach Hurley in Arizona State coming up with a big win. They won by 10. Darren Peterson struggled on the night, man. And if you were with us for the A.J. DeBonta conversation, clearly I've had a change in mentality in terms of who I think the best player in the country is. Darren Peterson didn't shoot it well, but did some other things well. 3 of 18 from the floor, 2 of 11 from 3, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 5 steals. He had 4 offensive rebounds. Like, that's kind of impressive. I didn't watch tonight, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know how well he actually played, but just box score watching here, and I can be real and admit it. I box score watched this one. I'm curious to see what he looks like in the month of March. And someone tweeted at me with this. You all can tweet at me whenever you feel you need to. It's at NELL_BTP. Somebody tweeted at me about this and was like, it was in reference to the news I gave you all about the IVs an hour to 2 hours before the game on Friday nights. he was like, man, if he's getting IVs the night before games, is he going to be able to manage the quick turnaround of the NCAA tournament? And, like, that is a fascinating question as well, because I think when it comes to the top pick in the draft, and I know we just spent damn near an hour telling you why A.J. DePonsa is going to be the number 1 overall pick, I think it's a really interesting conversation that ultimately is going to be had here. The piece that is super fascinating to me is the top 3 dudes, really the top 4, are so close in talent. Caleb Wilson, A.J. DePonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer. They're so close in talent that when it comes down to the NBA pre-draft process, you're going to be splitting hairs in terms of trying to figure out who the best player is. Darren Peterson, for as bad as he's looked the last couple of games, if he goes off during the tournament, it's like water under the bridge. That's why I can't wait for the NCAA tournament to ultimately commence. Some other big upsets around the landscape of college basketball tonight. I sigh because it's like anytime I come out with a strong college basketball stance, the team just totally puts their foot up my ass. I sat up here telling you all last night about Texas Tech this and Texas Tech that, and everyone sleep on them and disrespecting them as a national title contender without JT Toppin. Boy, do I look like an ass right now. They lost at home to TCU, of all teams. 73-65. The duo that came up big on Saturday on the road against Iowa State, talking about Donovan Atwell and Jalen Petty, they were tremendous once again tonight, but they couldn't play defense without fouling. They got crushed on the glass as well, out-rebounded by 14. Not going to win that way. Texas Tech, who entered this week's college basketball slate as the number 10 team in the country, they go down. Alabama going down as well by 10 on the road to Georgia. 98-88. It's a lot of points given up in a basketball game. In Denton, this one would have really got people talking. Georgetown almost upsetting St. John's on the road as the Johnnies end up squeaking away with a 3-point victory. Keeping it on the hardwood for just a second. One result in the NBA that I care about tonight, if I'm being honest. 2. One is the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Detroit Pistons without Donovan Mitchell. I think that's super impressive. I thought the defense that they played tonight on Cade Cunningham was great. And it's almost like I know ball or something. There was a certain analyst on this show that sat up here and told you all how impactful the additions of Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis were going to be. They came up big tonight. Keon Ellis, a couple of big stops defensively on Cade Cunningham. Dennis Schroeder, double-digit scoring off the bench. They did this all without Donovan Mitchell. I know a lot of people are kind of shoehorning the Pistons into the Eastern Conference Finals and into the NBA Finals, depending on how you talk about them. Do not sleep on Boston. Do not sleep on the Cleveland Cavaliers. You can sleep on the Knicks. They're fraudulent and soft. Anytime, I just don't believe in Cat. I don't. I didn't like Cat on Victorious. I don't like Karl Anthony Towns. Bottom line. I don't like Cats in general. I know that's going to throw off a large sector of our listening audience because you guys, some of you all treat your pets better than you treat people. I don't like cats. I have allergies. Yeah, you. But a really impressive win tonight for Cleveland, and I think the Eastern Conference is in a state of flux right now because of the impending return of one Jason Tatum. And that's something I know we're going to get into a hell of a lot here tomorrow night, I believe, as he is a game-time decision. He may be making his return to the lineup tomorrow, so cross your fingers on that. I'm super-duper excited. If Jason Tatum is able to return and he plays the entire postseason with Boston, how are they not the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference? Just my thoughts on it. I wanted to get into this, man. We've been pushing it off for a while. I think we're on the brink of having a rivalry in pro sports that none of you all saw coming. And it's not your traditional rivalry, right? Normally it's like fan base versus fan base, player versus player, team versus team. This rivalry is analyst versus player. And it's two big fish in the game. Stephen A. Smith, who is the godfather, I would say, of sports talk right now, in sports television, the way that he has transcended that game, so to speak. We all know about Stephen A. Some of you love him, some of you hate him, but everyone's got an opinion on him. He's doing it the right way. He is beefing hard with New Orleans Pelicans, and more specifically, former number 1 overall pick out of Duke, Zion Williamson. Now, let's talk about Zion here for a second. I know the last several years in his career has really negatively colored how we view him as a basketball player, but make no mistake about it. He was in the same ilk of LeBron James, Victor Wembanyama, Cooper Flagg. He was widely considered a generational talent coming out of Duke, an athletic specimen. What he has been to this point in his NBA career through 6 seasons is an utter failure, a total disappointment for reasons that he can control. Zion Williamson has played more than 60 games twice in the course of his 6-year NBA career. Just twice. And this is a guy that has all the talent in the world. When he's ready and able to play, as we saw in his second year in the league, 27 points per game on 61% shooting. We also saw it during the 2023 season. 23 points per game on 58% shooting, 5 rebounds, 6 assists per. He is a physical specimen, man. He is a test tube basketball player. Got all the talent in the world. But talent means nothing without hard work. He's missed a lot of time, missed a lot of action, been in the news for the wrong reasons. But Zion, I think it's fair to say, is probably a little overly scrutinized. Some of the commentary, and I raise my hand, I'm guilty as charged, I'm a part of the commentary. Some of the commentary surrounding Zion Williamson has been totally unfair. And we've heard from everybody else, every analyst, every shouty show, every radio host has given their opinion on Zion Williamson. You know who we haven't heard from throughout the course of this adversity? We haven't heard from Zion Williamson himself. He sat down with Malika Andrews on NBA Today and had this to say about the adversity that he's faced in the first 6 years of his career.
I would say the most difficult point was when I missed my third year with a broken foot. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's a lot of criticism on my weight, my care for the game, et cetera. But the whole time I'm looking at a doctor, and the doctor's telling me, yeah, we're going to perform this surgery, but if this surgery doesn't work, we really don't know the next step.
Yeah.
So while people are saying what they're saying, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, it is what it is. I'm in Portland rehabbing, not knowing if my foot's going to heal.
So here's the thing, right? Here's how I interpreted what Zion said. And there's a longer conversation that he had with Malika Andrews. And maybe I'm being hard or harsh. What I heard from Zion there, and correct me if I'm wrong, Oliver or Den, I heard a total lack of accountability for why he's had the adversity that he's had throughout the course of his career. It has been a known thing since his time on campus at Duke University. And let's be real about that. It started there, in my opinion. It started there. I remember when I went to Bethany College, and we got that good-ass cafe that we had, unlimited buffet every damn day, pizza, French fries, chicken wings, whatever you want, mac and cheese, burgers. We had a panini press station, damn it. You get whatever you want. You know what they call it? Freshman 15? You go look at Zion Williamson in high school, his body composition, and then you look at his body composition after his 1 year on the campus at Duke University. He looked like he ate himself. But no one was talking about it then. No one was talking about it then because it's packaged as muscle, and it's a part of this armor that he has. The way that he played and the force that he played with, I always thought, man, he's going to have to drop some weight or else he's going to have injury problems. Zion is making it seem like he's just getting hurt because he's got bad luck. What's the old thing we used to do as a kid? Step on a crack, break your mom's back, put down the plate. Damn it, you'll be able to skate. That's what I need to say about Zion. He's got a problem. He does. And I can speak about problems because I've got problems. You all got problems. We family here on Westwood One Sports Night. What I heard there from Zion was a total lack of accountability as to why he keeps getting hurt. The other piece of it is this. It was also divulged that not only was Zion spending a bunch of money on food, he was also spending a lot of money on adult entertainment. Some of the women and some of the public affairs that Zion has had while he's supposed to be rehabbing. How the hell are you rehabbing a broken foot, and every time I see you, you sneaking and geeking, hanging and banging? What are we doing here, Zion? I question the maturity of Zion Williamson. I question the give-a-damn level of Zion Williamson. I'm not the only one questioning it. One of the best in the biz, the OG, Screaming A. Smith, had this to say about Zion Williamson.
You got people that are alcoholics. You got people that are drug addicts and stuff like that. What was Zion's problem? Food addicts. The joke was everybody in New Orleans, they cooked. It could be everybody from a restaurant, a chef, to your grandmama. All right? Anybody that cooked knew about Zion Williamson.
Hey, look, Stephen A., you dead wrong. But Zion, I feel you, brother. He said everybody that cooked knew Zion Williamson. You mean to tell me you stopping a random grandmother in the streets of New Orleans? Look, if you got the thing, the people in the African-American community, if you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. When I raise my arm up, if you got that piece of meat right here, if you got that piece of meat right here to hang down low, I know you gets down in that kitchen now. Some people, some NBA scouts, they scout guys based off of height, weight, jumping ability. Zion was scouting his cooks based off if they had that little skin flap hanging, man. I got a couple aunties that done left their foot in the pot before. So, Zion, I ain't mad at you, brother. I just wish you would be and take more accountability with the situation and why you're in the situation that you're in. But I think Zion Williamson realistically can be talked about as one of the biggest what-ifs in the history of pro sports. One final call on the phones at 310-840-4910. What in your mind is the biggest what-if in the history of pro sports? And then, do you have confidence in Zion Williamson turning his career around? That's next here on Westwood One Sports Night.
Will the Raiders trade Max Crosby? Where could he land? What could they get in return? We're following the NFL news that matters. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
Oliver, you a Madden guy? Which Madden is this from? This is the only reason I know this song. It's the win-win-win song, right?
It is, but I did not know it was a Madden song. I'm not the biggest Madden guy, just because I wasn't that good. I was always 2K and MLB The Show over Madden.
Bro, he lives in L.A. He rocks with J-Rock.
Oh, it's J. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay.
Is he from LA? I didn't even know that if he is.
Never mind.
Westwood One Sports Night continues. About a half hour left to go on the program. We appreciate you being here, man. However you're locking into the show. Sirius XM Channel 375, WestwoodOneSports.com, the always free Westwood One Sports app. You can check us out streaming live and nightly on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, the whole bit on YouTube. Just search Westwood One Sports Night. We're not supposed to be doing this because it's kind of thirsty, but I don't give a damn. It's our show. We're at 496, people. The king of North Kakalaki, Josh Graham, challenged you all, and it wasn't much of a challenge. I had faith in you all. He challenged you all to get our YouTube page to 500 subscribers by the end of March. I now rip up the homework and tell you I'm giving you a more difficult problem to solve. I need 600 subscribers by the end of March, and I know you all will get there. If you get to 1,000, if you get us to 1,000 subscribers by the end of March, I can't promise you that Denton Day's hair is going to come back. But damn it, we can work on it. Lace front. Denton Day in a lace front. Denton Day with some weave. I just think there's an aura that you have that I saw. And look, there was 2 screen grabs. It's you with the mullet look, with the headband, and then it's you with the Joe Hendry, as I'm calling it. The levels of aura that were oozing out of you with both, it doesn't compare to the bald and the bearded. It's what I'm calling your current look. But damn it, it's something.
I'm about to say, you saying I don't have
it's something.
Aura now? I'm aura-less? I know how you feel about people with no aura.
Here we go. Well, I just don't think they should be deserving of the number 1 pick. That's all.
I mean, there's so many different hairstyles that I've had. I really used it while I had it. Every man in my family was bald, so I knew my day was going to come. Huh?
That, like this, can I be honest with you? Yeah. His name is Day. Here's what I'll say about this cut. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, just go over and check us out on YouTube, where you can check out the show nightly. Denton, like, don't take this the wrong way.
Oh, no. I'm terrified.
This haircut, I don't have it full screened yet. I still got it in the small box. You look like such a jerk with this haircut. Like, you look mean as hell.
I look like Draco Malfoy.
You look like Joe Hendry. I'm telling you who you look like.
I forget, you're not a Harry Potter guy.
Yeah. And I had the video game. I had a Harry Potter video game. The Chamber of Secrets had a video game where there were pigs and a bunch of weird stuff.
I am a Slytherin, if that doesn't mean anything to you, but to the people, that might mean something. I tried to retake the test, and I got Slytherin again. I was pissed.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That was just right over my head. If you don't, I'm genuinely, people probably think I'm looking at the camera, something that I never do while we're on this stream.
I also totally forgot that we were still in our infancy as friends during my blonde phase.
Wait, you went bald? You weren't bald when I met you?
No.
This is even crazier development.
No, you want to know what? You want to know a hilarious story? So this was while we were working together.
Yeah.
In the very, very beginning at 106.7 The Fan in Washington, D.C. I had been working there for probably 3 weeks, right? And I was becoming a little bit of a regular. They started to realize, all right, we actually hired a good person here, so we're going to give him more hours. I didn't tell anyone I was bleaching my hair. I literally did it on a whim. I basically asked she's my girlfriend at the time. I was like, would you like this? And she's like, we'll see. And I was like, cool. If they have an opening, I'm going to go do it. And then they had an opening. So I was like, I'm going to go do this. I walked in the next day to work with bleached hair, and nobody said anything.
Totally no-sold you.
They totally no-sold the hair. And I'm like, do they not realize that I haven't always been platinum blonde?
Yeah. Thank you for really differentiating the color. Because I was going to call it silver, bro, man. But think about it like this. I'm telling you how I would have reacted. I would have panicked.
You were the only one that reacted.
Oh, I reacted?
Yeah, because you came running into the studio and you're like, did you actually bleach your hair? And I was like, yeah, no. It was day 3 at work, and you were the only person that reacted to me having platinum blonde hair.
I notice things. I pay attention to the details, folks. Why don't I remember this? In Denton, my short-term memory is awful.
This is like 4 years ago.
But yeah, well, so it's not short-term. But I actually, were you in the Sheehan studio when I ran in?
Yeah, I was in the 980 studio. So that's like its own little wing in the Odyssey studios. But I walked past everybody. And like to put it in perspective, on purpose, I was like, well, surely somebody's going to say something about the fact that I have platinum blonde hair. I shaved down to a mustache once, and I walked by our boss's office, and he comes sprinting out. I mean, like, what happened? But when I go platinum blonde, nobody does anything.
That's incredible. So shout out to me for noticing, but not remembering. I don't know.
Hashtag noticing.
Yeah, I was always that guy. I got compliments from females when I was in high school on this. I was always the guy that would notice, like, when a female did something different or she was wearing a different makeup. Oh my God, you're so detailed. What's the
Maybe
word? You're
that's
so observant.
Have you ever done anything to your hair?
Hell yeah, Denton. Are you kidding me? Look at this bad boy.
What have you done to the hair? Because that might be.
If I send this to you, would you be able to put it up? Is that how this works?
Yeah.
If I text you a photo of me, you would be able to. This is. We may have to screenshot this and have this go up on the air. I've done several different things to my hair. I actually hate my hair, if I'm being honest.
I'm about to say, maybe the 1,000 subscribers should be something for your hair, hair that exists.
I think this is hilarious.
Because I don't think Josh would be able to. Like, I don't know that we could convince Josh to bleach his hair. I don't think that one would fly.
My hair.
He has a child.
I don't know if you know the lengths that my hair has grown to. I actually have the ability to grow quite the head of hair. I just sent you a pretty embarrassing photo of myself. So you have fun with that. I thought I was the coolest guy in the land, people. There was nobody that thought he was cooler than me. So I've done the bit, and our listening audience out there, if you could, we got some OGs that listen to this show, and I know that. So the OGs, now I gave you the real gold one. I mean, I'm such a head ass, if I'm being honest. But I did the S curl. You ever heard of an S curl, Denton?
I have.
So what it did, what it's supposed to do is like improve the volume and bounce and really give you some inches. It like de-curls, detangles all your hair. And like I did an S curl and my hair was never the same. Like I have this one spot in my head where the hair is thinner. And it's because of the S curl. Before I got this job, Denton, I was in the process of going back to I wouldn't call those dreads.
Twisties.
I was in the process of going back to the twisties, but then I realized, like, you're a grown-ass man, dog.
Yeah, I thought you were doing that, and then all of a sudden you showed up day number one of work with a new cut. And I was like, whoa, I thought we were growing it out. You were picking it while we were doing some stuff to make sure everything was looking good. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just disappeared.
Yes, at Honor Brewing. Our pals at Honor Brewing in Fairfax. I could not stop picking my hair. Also walked in with a very never mind.
I have thoughts about that we haven't discussed, but
yeah, we I think it's also probably something that's uber.
All right, I hope you're ready. Bang! Wait, what the hell? Why did mine go up again?
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at that guy. Wow. This was first of all, it's not my vehicle. Like rule number one of taking a good picture. It's not my vehicle. What am I doing with my fingers? I don't know. What am I looking at? I don't know. This picture went crazy on X, on my old X. People loved it. But this was on a trip to, this was Deep Creek, Denton. That was out of Deep Creek. I don't know if,
my boy posted up at Home Depot.
Look at your boy. I'm telling you, there's no one that was guarding the garden more diligently than your boy was.
This is a real botanist right here.
Yeah, like come on, man. I'm in the fit. And you can tell what time of year, or what year this was. I'm strapped with a COVID mask in 87-degree weather. You hear that? young hoodlums of the DMV, you don't wear the COVID mask if it's not COVID times.
I don't know. They kind of slap in the winter. like they really do.
I got Mike Walker. I didn't even acknowledge the chat. Zion needed to have a stress reliever during his rehab. His stress reliever is food and eaters.
2 eaters.
Yeah, literally.
I also realized today that you hate cracking of the knuckles, so I'd like to formally apologize. I was not aware that you didn't like that, and I'm just doing that with an open microphone, not realizing my microphone is open.
I mean,
that's on me.
This is why you're so much better than Zion Williamson. You hear the accountability that the super producer shared there? He felt he did something that disturbed the program, and he was quick to try to apologize for it. It didn't bother me. It made me laugh, honestly. Because I thought I don't know how I haven't shared this with you.
I don't know either.
I could have swore I've shared that with you.
I crack my knuckles all the time.
And I think that's why I knew I had shared it with you. I hate the sound of cracking knuckles, bro. It's my equivalent to nails on the chalkboard. It almost like, I'll be very honest with you, it stopped my train of thought. It makes me it's weird, bro. I don't like the knuckle cracking. I hate the neck cracking. Oh,
I do that too. I do
what
that.
What the hell are you doing?
I
Trying
do
to
the
break
back.
yourself.
I could push a place on the back of my neck and it cracks my upper back. It's pretty crazy.
So basically, you're like your own personal at-home chiropractor.
Pretty much. I don't know if I believe in chiropractors.
That is nuts. We're gonna put the show to bed. Coming up next, and then I got a question that I want to pose to Denton Day about what we'd both be doing if sports radio wasn't in our life. That's next.
The Cowboys place the franchise tag on George Pickens. What comes next? Do they sign him long term or trade the stud wideout to another team? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Westwood One Sports Night. Here's Linnell Willingham.
One final segment to go here on Westwood One Sports Night. What the hell are you laughing at? All I caught was you geeking. So I immediately started laughing. I'm such a follower. I can't help my damn self. 310. Well,
I took the screen. I took the screen down.
Yeah.
Like I do when we come out of breaks. And sometimes what happens is, like, the screen never fully resets. This is such inside baseball topics, and a listener does not care about this. But I took the screen down not remembering that I had this picture up of you. So it's the first thing I see is you mean mugging at Home Depot.
And by the way, I just told you a story about the forklift and so that's crazy. This is Westwood One Sports Night. Daily Rose says 16-year-old Linnell, put some respect on me. That picture is circa 2020, or circa 2021. So I was 23, 22, 23, I think.
This one might have been 16-year-old.
No, that's well.
How do I get this back up here?
Well, yeah. The other one,
not that one. Damn it, that one.
That one, I think. Gosh, I think I was my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
So I was, I just have a baby face, kinda. So it's very annoying. Man, this has been an absolute blast. Every night when we wrap the show up, I realize that we're virtually stealing money. This is so fun. Love doing this. Appreciate you all locking in with us on YouTube. One final subscriber count on the YouTube before we have our guy Denton Day ultimately put the show to bed as I try my best to filibuster. Oh my gosh, guys. We're at 498. We're at 498. We need 2 subscribers to get to 500. We better be at 515 by the time I wake up, or by 515 on the East Coast. Whichever one comes first. Why should you subscribe to our YouTube? Because I'm begging, for one. But I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn too much. I would say that we have definitely shook the room on this program, talking about Westwood One Sports Night, which you can check out Monday through Friday 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. You get me Monday and Tuesday. You get myself and the Kang and North Kakalaki, Josh Graham, on Wednesdays. Then you get Josh solo on Thursdays and Fridays. And then on the weekends, you can check us out as well. I'm 8 to 11 a.m. Josh Graham, 4 to 7 p.m., both times on the East Coast. We've shook the room up with this program that we've got for you all. And that's great feedback that we're getting from the people above. So whatever you're doing to support us, keep doing it because we're getting great feedback. And you all let us know every night how much you enjoy the show, man. There's nothing that warms me up more when I hear first-time caller, I love the show, man. And it feels like, not to toot my own horn, toot, it's every night. So appreciate you all locking in with us the way that you do here on Westwood One Sports Night. Oliver, if you got it ready, man, let's do the damn thing. It's time to play the sleepy tune that hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to help me get to sleep tonight. Denton Day, putting the show to bed.
I have great news. I think Selena Gomez has a crush on me. Because guess who opened up Instagram and saw that he was on Selena Gomez's close friends list? I think it's getting serious. That's me.
Wait.
This guy.
Selena Gomez has you in her close friends on Instagram?
I know.
It has to be some sort of act.
Whoa, what do you mean by that?
Why would she have you? Why would she have you and her close friend?
She could be a fan of the show.
Well, we are coast to coast and nationwide, so that could be a possibility. Denton's looking at me like, damn.
Maybe Benny Blanco is a fan. I think that's her husband. I think that's what his name is.
Selena Gomez is en fuego. That's how I would.
She is.
That's how I would put it. Oliver, you can leave that up. You can just keep it nice and quiet underneath of us, brother. Hopefully, I don't fall asleep on the air, but.
I just, sometimes it's nice to feel loved.
How are you in her close friends then?
I don't know, but I am, and that's really what matters. It's not how you get there; it's the fact that you're there.
We're at 503 subscribers, by the way. Shout out to you guys, man. That quickly. There we go. Why is
Oliver, pot up the StreamYard so I can play these soundboard sounds.
Shout out to you guys, man. You all are awesome. I'm looking her up right now on Instagram, and I'm going to follow her. And if I all of a sudden see the green circle and she's doing this bit where everybody who follows her is in her close friends, she can chill the hell out.
I mean, she better be chilling out. I thought we had something special going on.
I just followed her. I don't see the green circle. I have a lot of people that follow her, surprisingly.
Yeah, she has like a beauty company, I think. Man, well, I know because we're best friends because I'm her close friends.
Yeah, she's still extremely attractive.
Reloaded. See, I need to make sure that I'm not getting robbed.
Benny Blanco. Oh my gosh, you are getting robbed.
Oh my!
I am now.
God, you think you know somebody?
Look at the green circle, Denton. I'm in her close friends too.
Unbelievable! I thought we had something going on. I was about to Venmo her $5,000.
I'm about to say, man, look. She's got a yellow circle around her page, too. What's that? Wait, what is this? You must really be popping if you have a yellow.
You might need to get that checked.
Maybe it's like
I don't know
what is business close friends?
Yeah, what does the yellow mean?
Well, I know I have seen a whole bunch of bikini pics, so this is getting interesting.
Yeah, no, see, that's why I thought we had something going on.
She is aged horribly.
She is
so
lupus.
old. Sorry, Selena Gomez. And sorry to anybody out there that's dealing with this. I apologize. Oh my gosh, Denton, look. Look at what this girl said that I follow.
What, I
OMG.
can't read that.
It says, OMG, I'm in Selena Gomez's close friends. LMAO. No, you're not. We all are.
I fell for that same bit when Billie Eilish did it. I'm too gullible.
How many people are moving around the country thinking that they're about to lock and load with Selena Gomez? First of all, I'll be honest. She's not attractive. I take it back. She looks old as hell.
Well, she is. I think she's in her late 30s, early 40s.
That's not old as hell. We got some people in our listening audience that are that age. You all are old.
So she's 33. Well, I think it's the lupus situation.
Damn it.
Yeah. I thought you were an ally.
No, seriously, because that's. I feel
her husband he's tough.
What? Hold on, Dad. Pause. What do you mean he's tough? Hold on.
Dude, look at him. Search Benny Blanco right now.
No, he's in the comments of every picture she's posted. So
I mean, he glowed up. Like, I can't, good for you, King. You want to talk about outkicking your coverage. My boy's on a high school field and landed in the Super Bowl.
Who is this regular he looks like a deranged Californian.
Yeah. It's crazy. He's like a very famous music producer. Like all the songs that you listened to growing up, pop songs, he produced. I Kissed a Girl, yeah, all of them. Yeah, like him, that guy.
Yeah, okay. He's got 3.4 million followers, so he's somebody.
He scored Selena Gomez. What would you rather have, 3.4 million followers or Selena Gomez? It doesn't matter. He has both.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'd rather have. You need to have access to this throughout the entirety of the show.
I know. I think, Oliver, we're going to have to keep this up because this
has got to be something.
There's some bad ones in here that I need to get rid of. Like, we can't do a siren on radio. I think that's illegal.
Really?
The block's too hot for explosion sounds. Nobody wants to deal with that right now.
Oh, my God. Oh, he said it. Damn it. I don't even know how to close up the show. You said that. Awkward. Oliver says we have 30 seconds. Like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube. I'm going to hit the refresh button one more time. We're at 504 subscribers, ladies and G's. We appreciate you all locking in the way that you do here on Westwood One Sports Night. For Oliver, for the super producer, Denton Day, I'm the youngest in charge, Zanell Willingham. You can keep the conversation rolling with me on social media. It is at NELL_BTP. Drake Toll, what up, baby?
This is Westwood One Sports.